Greetings. Greetings. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Pages, here with LVX 777. And
And Krysten, how are ya?
so this is the official episode 1 of the Vedic Astrology podcast.
Yes.
It's not something new. It's been in the works for a while, but
Mhm.
this is the first day we press record this time.
Indeed.
Because usually we go on forever.
Hours.
Jeez. Okay. All right. So welcome everybody. Um, you know who I am, you know who she is. If you don't, I am, an occultist and I teach people how to do magic. And Krysten is the world's best Vedic astrologer.
Oh,
If you don't know, now you know.
now
Today
you
we're going to
know.
talk about some very exciting things that are going on in the skies and in our hearts. Because if you know magic, you understand the law of correspondence, right, from the Kabbalion, as above, so below. So it isn't just floating rocks, right? It isn't just planets moving around in the sky. This is about an energy that is running through all things, connected like a string. And when someone pulls one end of the string, everything attached to that string is pulled as well. So we're going to talk about what strings are being pulled today.
Absolutely. That was a wonderful introduction.
Thanks. I didn't even write anything down that time.
That was really good. So, how did you experience the full moon yesterday?
Yesterday, what happened? Yeah, man, time is like so weird. Like 2 days ago felt like a week ago. So yesterday, I know I felt it today. I felt the retrograde
Absolutely.
end and all that.
Yeah, absolutely. The retrograde for Mercury ended on the 22nd, but there's still a shadow period that takes place, so it takes a few days after for the full effects to come off. So, but our full moon was in the sign of Sagittarius in the nakshatra of Mula, which you have Mula on your ascendant. So I knew that you would be specifically experiencing this full moon in a major way.
Yes.
Yes. And interesting, as the moon is in Mula, the sun is on the opposite axis in Ardra, Gemini Ardra. So there is, the moon being our mind and the sun being our spirit and our ego, our mind and our way of physicality is going to be changing. There's going to be massive transformation because when we think of what Mula and Ardra represent is destruction, right? It tears things down, but what this does is it tears things down to create the new, to make way for new to come. And our last full moon was the eclipse. So this is setting forth the new year ahead of what's going to be happening to most people. And it's going to be massively transformative. People are going to be living a life that they have not ever lived. There's going to be changes they've never seen. We're going to see many different things that our lifetime we've never seen. There is nothing new under the sun, but for us, it'll be new. New things will be happening.
Definitely feeling that. And, I hate to sound cliche, but I've been getting some mad downloads the past 24 hours.
Absolutely. I mean, I could just imagine with the fact that you have Mula and then there's the full moon being in Mula. So it's definitely not just going to affect your dreams and your mind, but, your thought process, or you're going to get these downloads are going to be happening. They're going to come like the whole rest of the year. So, and especially this next month ahead, around the first the first week of July, you're going to really feel these transformative energies happening. So, it takes a minute, when the solar eclipse happens or when the full moon happens, it takes a little bit for those energies to fully play out. So this is just the beginning of what's coming.
Yeah, from what I understand, from studying Kabbalah in tandem with astrology is that when a lot of these configurations take place, the moon acts as like a satellite dish that receives the influences, and when it gets filled up, it releases them on our physical plane. So like you were talking about that shadow period, the way that I relate to it is that the influences that are currently active are at their peak when the moon is full. um,
Absolutely.
I know that Mercury deals with communication and mail, right?
Yes, communication, mail, travel, paperwork.
Paperwork. All right.
Yes,
So
banks.
right after my birthday, I noticed that my mail stopped coming in. I'd go out there and check at the same time, and I caught her one time, like just before she pulled off. I tried to go downstairs, and I saw her pulling off. I saw her putting packages in the mailbox next to mine. I look at mine, and she
Oh,
just left a little slip, and it said, "Come see Rocco at the office for your mail." Right. So
uh-huh.
it was like just about a week at this point that we've been getting no packages, no mail, nothing. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? And I noticed like just before that when I was waiting that my roommate's girlfriend had parked in front of the mailbox, and I'm like, she probably got mad that they're parking in front of the mailbox. So I asked her, tell her not to park there. But still, it didn't come. Well, anyways, today, finally, I heard a bunch of rustling and bustling at my front door when I was meditating, and I knew it was the packages. So I got up and I went out there and I got her that time, and she's like, you were wondering why your mail wasn't coming in? And I'm like, why? And she's like, well, can you guess? Like, because it was liquid. Y'all thought it was a bomb, drugs. It's like, no. Long story short, because she was upset that we had a vehicle there, and she didn't want to have to go out of her way to go out and put the packages down because that would affect her delivery time. So
Wow.
instead of getting mad and selfish, I decided to see
Yes.
it from her perspective. I understand,
Hmm.
it won't happen again. I appreciate you bringing it because I wasn't about to go down there to get it.
Yeah.
But anyways, uh,
Wow, that's interesting.
retrograde over, full moon, full effect. I finally got all a mountain of packages that have been backed up for a week.
See, I'm telling you, the, this retrograde specifically, and you know me, I'm not one to blame retrograde, because I find retrograde to be a great time for restoration and renewal and self-care, especially for the Gemini because of Mercury and Virgo. But this one was particularly uh, damaging to many people because we had Mars go to debilitation in Cancer. We had Saturn go into retrograde, and we have Rahu and Ketu doing all kinds of energetic manipulation. So there was a lot of um, disruption, but the disruption that came for most of us was to help us to go forward. Especially with Saturn, what he wants you to do is to stop and say, wait, the things that you haven't taken care of, the stuff you've been putting off, what you've been procrastinating, the things you haven't paid, the stuff you were supposed to do, you have to do it. And then when you don't do it, he'll make you do it by blocking your bank account, stopping your money, causing issues at work, things to make you have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you do it and it's all taken care of, there's this huge weight lifted off you. And it might take a little bit. It might take some, work and some responsibility. But once it's taken care of, then the rewards come. Then the block, if you will, is lifted. Because Saturn doesn't take away. He just puts in front. He puts things in front of you to do before you gain the blessings that he has. I say, even though it's a female planet, I say he because Saturn is the deity. I can't help it. I think of him as a he, a father. But,
That
you know, so they puts obstacles in your way when you haven't done what needs to be done. You need to learn, and sometimes it takes a little bit. Sometimes it's like slow learning and slow steps, but these steps end up built, culminating in success in the end.
Yeah. Almost, I mean, I can see why you would consider it a male deity, even by what you just said there. That's more of a masculine type of disciplinary, you know,
Absolutely.
not taking it
Yeah.
from you, but making you work for it, I guess.
Mhm.
Right?
Yes. Yeah. Like I always feel like the strict father.
Yeah.
When we think of mother, we think of nurturing, we think of moon, Cancer, So and I know that they say Jupiter is father. Yeah, good daddy is Jupiter. but even a strict daddy can be a good daddy because he teaches us things, So like a, a dad that teaches you discipline and responsibility and work ethic. That's what Saturn does for you. There's an allegory story about how Saturn works, and it's about three guys who are traveling into a foreign land.
Mm-hmm.
And the first guy, or the three of them, come up to this road, and there's a huge tree blocking the road. It fell into the road, and it's massive, and it's blocking everyone's path. And the first guy gets really upset, and he said, "This is ridiculous. What kind of kingdom doesn't clear the road for travelers?" And he throws a fit, but he climbs over the tree, and he keeps going. The second guy takes a look at the tree and says, "Screw this. I'm going to go find an easier route. I'm going to go somewhere else." So he takes off and goes another way. The third guy puts all his bags down, and from his satchel, he pulls out an axe, and he starts to hack away at the tree. Bit by bit, he's clearing the tree out of the way, pulling it, to the side to help, to lend a hand. It's many steps and it's hard work. But at that last piece, when he picks it up, underneath it is the bag of gold with his name on it. This is what Saturn does. That is a perfect representation of how he works, or whatever you want to say, works.
Hmm. I like that because the first guy was acting out of his ego. I mean, he eventually crossed over and he put forth the effort to cross over, but he didn't get the reward and he was bitching the whole way. The second guy, very Tamasic, very
Mm-hmm.
Tamasic, went the other way and probably took longer to get there. But that third guy
Mm-hmm.
invested effort, invested work. Not only did he clear the path for himself, but he cleared it for others as well.
Yes, service. Absolutely. And then think about the guy. Yes, go ahead.
Could that
Sorry.
be the key to unlocking what Saturn has for us?
That's it. It's it right there. I mean, think about the second guy, right? He's like, no, I can find a better path. I can control this. I can make this a better path somehow. I can find my own way. And what ends up happening is you get lost. You end up going the complete wrong way. It's a harder road. Things don't go as you plan, and more karma is laid in the way, right?
Yes.
So, and then the first guy, he climbs over for himself. He's selfish. He'll climb himself over. He didn't lend a helping hand. He bitched the whole way. He didn't think of anyone but himself. So he got over, but he's alone. He's got nothing and no one else with him. It's that last guy who is not only helping himself, but helping others and thinking of others and how can he serve and putting a little work into it. That's what Saturn wants from us. That's the key to unlocking Saturn. I have recently done a lot of charts where people are in their Sati Sati, which is the Saturn period when he rules your life for 7 years, like a Saturn return. And then there's people that are in their Saturn Dasha. So I've had a lot of that in my readings lately. And everyone's like worried about it because they know Saturn is restriction. But this is why we're talking about Saturn so much lately, is because I've been having all these charts and I'm trying to explain to people that Saturn will give you the biggest blessings, the biggest, even more than Jupiter and Venus. But you have to work for it. You have to listen, especially now because Saturn is in Shravana, the nakshatra of the ear, the one who listens. who can hear. And Saturn is the elders, listening to the elders, listening to the higher self or the higher, whatever you want to call it, listening to the planets, the messages that you're getting. You know what needs to be done. We all know what needs to be done. We try to tell ourselves we don't, because we don't like what has to be done half of the time.
Right.
We want to ignore that. But when you listen and say, okay, I'm going to do it, and you get it done, you know how good it feels when you take care of business. There's no more stress. There's no more like hanging over your head. Right. You know, there's a release there. So right now, Saturn's working his work and his magic in many people's lives, because we've got the Saturn-Jupiter transit that's in conjunction that's been happening. And it just seems that there's so many people that I'm reading that are in their Saturn Dasha, which is very interesting to me that that's happening right now. Lucky for me that I already had my Saturn return. So
lucky for you, what does that mean?
Well, I had my Sati Sati back from between 2003 to 2013, I think it was, which those years, I wish I knew what I knew then, what I know now, because I would have been able to prepare. But because I didn't know these kinds of things then, man, those were hard years, years, up until 2005. But even from 2005 to 2013 were still hard, just not as hard as 2003 to 2005. But those are some hard years, man. Some hard years.
So we can admit there are difficulties that kind of come with the territory, but a mind that is situated in balance can handle any type of influence.
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. If I knew now, I mean, then what I know now, it would have been different. I would have been able to take it on in a different way. I would have been prepared for what was to come. That's the thing about knowing your chart and knowing the transits is preparing. You're able to prepare for what's to come. And just by preparing for the future, it cancels any negativity out by 60%, they say. So that's worth knowing.
Yeah. The way I like to look at it is, I truly feel like I can handle anything that comes my way. Like there's nothing that's going to be overwhelming, because I understand that no matter what's coming, I'm going to be finding a solution. And if this is something that doesn't feel good, I'm going to be looking for the lesson in this. Or I'm going to be looking for the opportunity in this. I'm going to be looking for how this fits into the plan that I've already made. And just with that thought process, I have not encountered anything that's like, oh my God, this is
right. Nope. You're right. And even see, that's the thing, is even in my Saturn return, or the Sati Sati, I didn't in the moment, I wasn't like, oh, this is terrible. I look back on it now going, those were hardest years of my life. But, also I'm not that kind of person to be like, God, everything, it's hopeless. It's doom and gloom. No matter what it is, I'm going to survive, and I'm going to make it, and I'm going to make the best of it. So, and that's the mindset you need. It's the shifting of the perspective. Even if you see the so-called, cursed planets or the cursing planets coming up in negative placements, there's a way of making it work for you. When things are destructive, use them to destroy the things within us that we need to get rid of.
There we go. We're talking about reframing, hijacking the matrix.
Yes.
I look at this also the same way that I look at psychic ability or any type of spiritual influence. I look at it as energy as a two-way stream. If something can be sent, it can be sent back. There's an open channel. So if there are influences that would be considered negative, that's not something I run from. That's not something that I put up a bunch of protection and burn sage.
Right.
No, this is what time it is, right? If this is the worst combination in the sky, I don't go burn some sage. No, I find a way to channel that energy and redirect it in such a way so that it fits accordingly,
Exactly. That's funny you mentioned this, because on my TikTok, I made, you know, my spooky videos that I make for entertainment, you know, about the possessions. You know, you got people that will watch the whole video, right? And will comment, I do not accept any negativity from this video. I do not take into any evilness into my life. And I say, well, the first thing you should do then is not speak what you just spoke. Speak,
You know,
life.
and that.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Also, the easiest way to invite so-called negativity and evil is to sit there and fear it and talk about it.
Right.
Like it's a big bad wolf. Like this video is so dangerous. I had to put something over it because it's gonna get me, you know. I know that mindset. I used to have it.
Yeah.
I definitely do. I say, watch what you
Me
say, and ooh, you know, be careful how you say things. And yeah, there's obviously there's truth to bits of that. But when your fear is overpowering your words, all the universe is recognizing is the fear that you're putting out. You're talking about negativity. Doesn't care that you want it or you don't want it. That's what you're talking about. And you're fearing it. So you're going to mirror back more of that towards you.
Yes. You know, I love that spirituality is very relatable to gardening and husbandry, as they used to call it back in the Jesus days.
But
But
Jesus says,
you know, when you plant a seed, you're gonna get the plant that comes out of that seed. If you plant strawberry seeds, you're gonna get strawberries. If you plant blueberry seeds, you're not gonna get watermelon. You're gonna get little
exactly.
blueberry.
Yep.
So, when I relate spirituality to gardening, the same thing is with our thoughts and our actions. It starts as an impulse, and from that impulse, we decide or we automatically, like animals, respond, and we make a move based on that seed. So, this is why it's so important to meditate and to come into stillness and oneness and take deep
Yes.
breaths and be present with ourselves always. Because if you get a seed of fear and then you go and take an action based on that seed of fear, guess what you have planted? You've planted more fear, and it's going to sprout fear everywhere. So for somebody to get
Exactly.
scared and then say, oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. No, first of all, nobody asked for none of that shit. Second of all, nobody forced you to watch the video. But
Right.
by you saying that and putting forth that emotional current of energy, you planted a seed of fear. You're not going to get a
Yes.
blessing from that. You're going to get
No.
more of what you planted.
Exactly.
I mean, it makes sense.
Exactly.
This isn't something that you got to like stretch your mind and like it just makes sense.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
And
this ties into like the Mercury retrograde and stuff like that. When you hear that Mercury retrograde is coming, if the first thing you do is start panicking and oh my ex is gonna text me or I hope everything's gonna
yeah.
break, like all those fearful thoughts, when you make a move on those, yeah, you're gonna manifest those.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, that is the truth. This is something I have worked to try to help people shift their perspective on all the negative aspects in astrology. And I was doing it even before I was doing the Vedic system, because I saw how when I shifted my perspective and I decided, no, Mercury retrograde doesn't mean doom and gloom. I say it does not. I'm going to use it for transformative energies. I'm going to regenerate. What's telling me to slow down and take care of things I need to take care of. Take a few steps back. What needs to be done? That's just common sense. Somebody might see that as terrible, but or disruptive. And okay, these things can be, but sometimes they are for our better growth. And just the shift in perspective will literally change the outcome. How you experience the outcome. For instance, when Venus was retrograde last year, that's when everyone was getting their money. When people were paying all that stimulus to everybody, that's Venus when it was retrograde. So retrograde doesn't always mean terrible things, especially when it goes back into, a good sign. Like that was when Venus was in Taurus. It loves to be there.
Okay, so wait, are you saying that there's a lot more to it than something just being retrograde? You're saying that there's other factors involved and that it's not a good idea to make a snap judgment based on a word that we have negative feelings attached to?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because just like just like with our sun signs, the reason everybody is so attached to their sun sign, when someone talks smack about someone's sun sign, they get triggered. They get mad, right? Or when you tell them that they're not their sun sign in sidereal, they're one back, they get pissed. You know why? Because what is the sun? It is our ego. So it triggers our ego. Boom. How do you know when your ego is having an issue? Go watch some videos about your sun sign, see some negative videos and see how you feel about it. Test out.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the more you dig and you find how these things like correlate, it's like, wow, okay. It's really interesting. Like, for example, the one thing I wanted to talk to you about, the way to hack your career, or anyone who's in the public eye, or a career move, or someone who, wants something for their work, to be recognized for something they're doing. They need to look in their chart and find out what their midheaven is, the 10th house. Okay. You can do it for your tropical or your sidereal and test out which one gives you better results. So what you'll do, like for you, yours is Virgo in sidereal. So you want to look up colors that represent Virgo, and energy that represents Virgo, the kind of animals and the kind of things Virgo talks about and Virgo represents, and display them in a video. Change the red and black, go to something different, because your red and black is your ascendant. That's your true self. And that's what you're giving people right now, your true self. But for the public to really eat it up, it needs to be the 10th house. It needs to be that midheaven, what you're seen for in the public, for it to really pop off.
Oh.
Yes. So you want like the colors with, that has to do with that sign, or, because, excuse me, my mind is gone now. Yes. You want the colors and like just the symbols and things to do with Virgo, which is a lot of hard work. It's 6th house. It's intelligence, Mercury rules it. So a lot of that energy, that is for your sidereal. Now you want to look into your tropical, and you would be Libra then in your tropical, I'm thinking. And also try it with Libra and see which one gets you the better results. For me, my tropical is Leo in my midheaven, but in sidereal it's Cancer. And today I did a little experiment with this, and I posted a video on child psychology. Basically, I channeled the Cancer part, so mothering, nurturing children, things like that. So I did a video on children that have been neglected of their mothers and the outcome. So I had clips from the 1950s, and it blew up. Like, it blew up fast, real quick. People were really interested. I mean, I got so much interaction with this video. So I'm like, okay, so that's with the Cancer energy. And I didn't really, all I did, that was like a small bit of my Cancer energy. I could have really went more with it, but that's what I did with that. So I'm going to test another one out and use Leo energy, which is, flamboyant and royal and colorful and big hair. And, it's the lion. So, and colors that represent Leo, and see what comes of it. Just like I was talking about, if you want to spruce up your bank account, you go look to the 2nd house. What sign is it in? What colors are associated with that? Get a wallet or a purse that match those colors. Put a symbol of the deity or the planet that rules that house in your wallet. Things like that. It literally like triggers the energy to be activated.
You want to know that first of all, that's something I've never heard before, and that's definitely an experiment that I'm going to be messing with here.
Yeah, I'm excited to
see. It won't slip my mind. You know why?
Why?
You named for me specifically 2 signs, and you said that that was my 10th house,
Yep.
one in my sidereal and one in my tropical.
Yep.
Now check this out. Now, I'm glad that one of them's ruled by Mercury, because that's a planet that I vibe with
Mm-hmm.
100%. And I'm glad that you said another one that's an air sign, so that means I don't have to go too
Yep.
far from home. But
Nope.
check this
And it's
out.
Venus, Libra, which is Venus.
Yeah. So, wow, this is so freaky. There are two energies that I channel depending on what mood I'm in. And you might, if you pay attention to my videos, I usually express one or two of these energies, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So check this out. My dad is Virgo.
Wow. Makes
My
sense.
mom is Libra.
What? No. Wow. That's interesting. That is interesting.
When I do channel that Virgo energy, I think I probably do get better feedback, but I
Mm-hmm.
guess I'm kind of biased because I don't know. But that's very strange that you say that.
Yes. Well, when you soup it up and go like full speed, like if you had you put Virgo on the wall behind you, and you put some images that represent Virgo and the colors, and you go full on out. I'm telling you, I would like to see what happens. Do a video on Virgo. Talk about
Oh,
Virgo. Talk about what Virgo means to you, and the Virgo men you know in your life. See what happens with that. Because, and then do one on Libra.
next to Aquarius, Virgo are usually my favorite people.
There you go. Well, it's
They're
your 10th house. That's
Mm.
what the public sees you as. That's why. So the first house is what you are. That's who you are. That's how you know yourself to be. But the 10th house is how we all see you. It's how the public all sees you. That's what they see from you. So, because we're bits of every bit of, we're bits of all the signs. We're not just one thing, that. But the 10th house is how the public sees you.
That energy they receive from me. They receive that
Yep.
Virgo energy, even though that's not what I'm consciously doing. That's what they're receiving.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's the thing is, you might not be consciously, but there's a subconscious energy that's coming out of there. And, that's noon, where the midheaven is. That's noon. That's when, what I'm talking about in the 10th house. That's the time of day is noon. So that's right where Virgo was in the sky when you were born.
Man, that is wild. That is wild.
Yeah, the other day I was at a friend's. I took my son to work. He's working with a friend of mine, actually, my youngest son. And we got to talking about astrology. And I had to like draw in chalk on the wall. She knew her ascendant and she knew her sun. Just by that, I was able to tell her what time she was born and what houses everything was in. And I surprised myself. I'm like, holy shit. I was like, were you born around noon? She goes, yeah, 12:13. She goes, how'd you know that? I was like, well, because you knew your ascendant and you knew your sun sign. So that makes your sun in the 10th house here. And I was like, which that's noon. I'm like, and that is a great place to have the sun, because that is where the sun's supposed to be. That's called directional strength. So the sun gets, points for being in that house when it happens. Rahu is a really good in the 10th house also. Does well there. What do you have any planets in the 10th house?
No, you asked me to grab my chart, but I left it upstairs.
That's okay. It's okay.
I don't think I do. Shango just asked a great question. He said, "What if the 10th house is empty?" But I think you're talking about the planet that rules that house, or the
right.
sign.
The 10th. Yep. Right. So the 10th house doesn't have to have any planets in it at all. In fact, that don't have to look at the planets. What you're going to look at is the house itself. So let's say that it is Capricorn. So then that means Saturn. Saturn is that planet for that house. So you just look at the planetary ruler of the house it is, the actual zodiac sign. And you could break this down even further. So let's say that, you know, the 10th house is career, which you're known for, and it's like public image, right?
Yes.
So work, let's say there's things going on at work that you're like, people are actually working a 9 to 5 or a work, and they need, you know, they want some change at work. They want a raise, or they want, you know, better working conditions, whatever they want. Go to the 6th house, find out what the 6th house is, you know, what sign it is, the colors, the deities, you know, the symbols, you know, and start working with that. You know, this is also something you can do, you know, how I said, how when you want something, draw an image of it or write a story of it and put it in certain corners of your house. This is part of Feng Shui, but this is kind of similar. You could do it with your chart. So you want to activate something in your chart. You really want to turn it on because of whatever reason. Look to that house where, you know, this thing represents. You got stuff going on with your kids. Look to your 5th house. What is your 5th house? What is the deity? What are the colors that go associate, you know, things like that. Paint your children's room in those colors. If, you know, they're having, you know, whatever's going on with them. If you need creativity, you know, that's the 5th house. Insight, if you're looking for gains, you know, that's the 11th house. You know, there's no limits to this. The more creative you get, the better.
Yeah.
But you just need to know what your houses are and what you're looking to improve. But specifically for the people that work in front of an audience, the people that are online, check your 10th house. Get to the 10th house, find out the sign, and get to really learning about what that sign is. This is your new you. You need to step away from your sun and your moon for a little bit, unless it is your sun or moon. But step away for those for a minute. When it comes to your work on screen and stuff like that, work with the 10th house. Get to know your 10th house. Get to start vibing with it and showing people that. That's how you'll get success. It will really take off.
Okay. So big takeaway from that part. Those of us who do work in front of an audience or are observed by, you know, people, it would behoove us to somehow harness the energy of the 10th house the same way we would harness any type of energy, through our imagination, through visualization, through sigil, through color, through any means of correspondence possible.
Yes, and play it out on the screen. That the most important is the people watching you have to see it. So
you have to invoke that energy.
Yes,
during your work.
Yes, it's not enough to just dabble in it with yourself and read on it and study it. You need to display it behind you. You need to look the part of a Virgo. You need to be a Virgo. And that's what you got to put forward. You got to be Beyonce, you know, Virgo Beyonce out there. That's what people want to see. That's what people want, is that public image.
Honestly, that can be a game changer when you think about it, because
absolutely,
naturally, that's the energy that you're gonna naturally vibe with in front of people. That's your 10th house. Like, that's nothing that you have. That's your natural way in front of audience. So to consciously tap into that can only mean success. That's a game changer right there.
Absolutely.
And you're also, at least for me, you've given me two options. You said the
tropical or Vedic. Sidereal. Yep, sidereal. Yep.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was just correcting myself. Yes, absolutely. Either or. Because, and remember why the tropical and sidereal are both significant and both relative, because the sun is what's represented in tropical. The sun's path along the ecliptic. It's lower, you know, and then what is sidereal is the moon's path and the true star paths, how we see them from the sun. I mean, from the earth, from earth. So you've got the sun's path and what that, and what he sees,
Mhm.
and then what we see from Earth as the moon and stars. So as above, so below, right? As within, so without. That's what they are. They are both you. They are physical and mental. They are spirit and higher mind. This is two parts of a whole. To ignore one or to cuss up one and say they're whatever is to like cut off your left arm and say you like your right arm better. It's both you. They both are you. It's just like in sidereal when you have your main chart and then there's a moon chart. So there's many different charts. You can look deeper by putting the planets on the ascendant. Right? You know that, right? I told you that before. Trev?
No.
No? Oh, okay. So we can get into that another time. But basically, when you're wanting to do a deeper reading in your charts, you take, let's say your moon is in the 10th house, right? In your chart, you literally turn your whole chart to where you make the moon on the first first house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you can do that with every single one, every planet. So, and that's just called a divisional chart, a deeper read. Well, and you just look at the tropical side as another part, another divisional, another half, and it's coming from the side of the sun, where the sidereal is coming from the side of the moon, right?
Ugh. I'm just seeing fractals upon fractals because that can go on forever.
It
That
can.
ever
It does. It does.
makes sense
This,
though.
yeah,
You think about
it
these
absolutely does.
planets. These are, we know they're not actually giant ass globes floating around
Right.
mindlessly.
Exactly.
We're talking about intelligences. We're talking about
Yes.
incomprehensible packets of energy, right?
Yes.
One way to think of it is, because lately I've been studying a lot more on the different planes, right? The mental plane, the astral plane, the physical
Mm-hmm.
plane, and how they interrelate with each other. I find that like every year I do this weird spiral where I'm studying stuff and different topics, and then like at some point I go retrograde and go back over those topics, but with a deeper understanding because of all the other stuff that I just got finished learning. Um, but I was just thinking today how we got the body and we have this thing that we call mind that's broken up into all these different components. Um, but essentially everything that we know is condensed packets of information. And when we look at things like sigils, this is actually a condensed packet of information. Like there's a meaning behind this. To the physical eye, it's just a shape. But when you use the higher mind and you go into the astral and look at this, there's a whole world of information here. Likewise with how everything living operates. We've got this body, but there's a packet of condensed data called mind that is using this body as a sigil.
Yes.
Now, all these little packets of mind and body and animals and trees and all that shit, all those together make an envelope of energy that is the consciousness of the earth, right? Now, all the earth and the moon and Mercury and Venus, those all make up condensed packets of energy that make up the intelligence of the sun. And this keeps going and going, right? So the sun is, it's literally incomprehensible, let alone planet Earth being an incomprehensible entity that is using the planet itself as a sigil, as a vessel, just like our mind's using the body, but it's a
Mm-hmm.
part of the sun. That's why there's nothing new under the sun, because we're a
Exactly.
part of it.
Literally.
What's happening with these charts when you look into them and you twist them around and you make, like you said, you might make the moon the ascendant or whatever. We're
Yep.
looking at it from the perspective of the intelligence of that sphere.
Yes. That's
Before
exactly right.
I didn't get like the whole Olympic magic where you invoke the spirits of the spheres, but I get it now. These are
Yeah.
actually intelligences that contain immense packets of data. And astrology helped
Yes.
me understand that just a little bit. Vedic astrology really unlocked something for me in that nature, but I just wanted to insert that packet of data real quick.
Yeah, no, that's the truth. It's exactly that. And it's everything from, it's different perspectives. It's you from the perspective of the moon, you from the perspective of the sun,
Right.
you from the perspective of Jupiter, just like you who you are from your mom's perspective, from your dad's perspective, from your sister's perspective.
Yeah.
It's all still you, just different parts of you.
Yeah. Or likewise, like what you're saying from the 10th house, how the human egregore of the public perceives me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Really have success, then I need to go and turn around and try to see from the lens of what the intelligence of Virgo would see me as, or what the intelligence of Libra would see me as. And if I do that, I'll have better success at what it is that I'm trying to do. Man, it's taught me something amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Woman
Yeah.
just taught me something amazing.
Oh, I'm cool with it. Call me man or woman. No, that it's interesting, how we can hack our own charts. And it's like I said, this is similar with your house bagua. I definitely would like to get into that eventually, because this is that it's taking it a step further. So you got your chart for yourself, your chart for your map, right? I mean, for your life, your map for your life, right? But then you have one for your physicality in your home. So, because what's surrounding you is also like mirror. It's a mirror of you. It's what you're bringing in and it's what you're putting out. So your home is got its own map, its own astrology chart, or bagua. Okay, that's what they call it. And you could do the same thing and activate the same kind of energies like I'm talking about now with your Feng Shui bagua. There, each corner of the house represents each family member, and it represents a body part, and it represents things going on in your life. It represents victories and losses and deaths and hope and winnings and jobs and all of that. So there's certain colors go certain places, certain objects, certain elements. It's all the same thing. And you can even go deeper. You can work with your astrology charts, and then you can move over and also align it with your bagua, your house bagua, and really dig in and really get in. So for people that, for females, the southwest corner of their house is where their career is, where the career is for mother, right? So if they sit facing that and they work facing that direction, it'll be beneficial to them. This is what I face that direction every time we're on here. And I have a symbol there. I have my bird cage that I love sitting there, that expensive bird cage, and I have the map behind it for travel. I have everything that my goals are right there, and I see
Condensed
it.
packets of energy.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And it pulls in, and it's been pulling in all kinds of fantastic feelings and outcomes. Now for the father or the man of the house, it's the northwest corner. So you would want to, and also you always want to make sure these places are not cluttered, right? Too much clutter makes things stand in our way, obstacles, So you will decorate it in the way that matches what you're trying to achieve. The elements that go with your bagua, it's going to take some learning on how to read your bagua and how to draw it out. We can get into that in the future if you guys are interested in that. It's actually pretty simple, and it's taking it to a whole nother level. It's literally connected. It's just like your house is astrology, but I'm telling you, the minute you clean something and change it around, within a day, the outcome happens. It's instant. Like you're like, oh my God. Every time, in the past when we would be having money problems, I would say the house is a mess. We need to clean it. We need to clean it. Watch what happens. We're going to clean it because, the money corner is dirty. We would clean it, and within a day, things would, a check would show up, or money would appear, not just appear, but it would show up. Things would work out. And I'm like, you see, we need to keep up with this, because the energy in our houses is everything. We were before living outside, the energy was always moving, the wind and stuff. There wasn't stagnant air, building up and building static. And they call it shachi, which is negative energy, or sharp energy that causes accidents and causes mishaps, and it gets stuck.
Force.
What'd you say?
Or unbalanced force even.
Yes. And it's when you have it in your house, when you see where there's like dust and there's places you haven't, been in a while and they're dark, that's where that all sticks up. It's where it stays. And if you've got sharp objects like sharp corners or prickly plants, that's and open toilets, all that kind of thing brings all that energy in. That's why you want to open your windows as much as possible. Let the light in, let the air in. A lot of Feng Shui practitioners, even in the winter, they open their windows every day, once a day. Let that air in to circulate. These things, can work in tandem, and they can make your life so much easier just by doing some artwork or writing or saying, if writing down something that you want, an intention or whatever, and putting it in the right corner so that you could see it every day, sigil work, stuff like that, and putting it in the right spot in your house, it will activate. If you're putting it in the wrong spot and you're like, I don't understand, I did this work and it's not working the way I wanted. Well, maybe you got it in the wrong area, and maybe your house is cluttered, and there's a million different things that's in the way. So there's all kinds of things one can do to really activate their 10th house or their public image. And it's included, you can include your feng shui and your bagua. The center of the house is the victory. And it's really good to sit in that area. It's where the wins happen and victory happens. So it's good to be in the center of the home. That's always a good energy to have going for you. Although not everyone could sit in the center. It depends on how the house is set up. But I'm lucky enough I'm able to sit in my center of the house. But yeah, it's all tied up. It's all connected.
Wow. Okay, that was a download that might have to be rewinded to catch all that.
Mhm.
Real quick, I want to go ahead and give a shout out and say thanks to everybody who's currently viewing the live broadcast. Greetings, Alora. Greetings, MC Maestro. Greetings, Tree Marie. Greetings, Stay Wild Moon Child. Greetings, Han. Greetings, Amar. Greetings, Shango. Greetings, Melon Lemon. Greetings, Stray Panther. Let's see. Off Broad FM. Peace. Jaren, peace. Purple Butterfly. Yeah. Uh, Vault, Pat. Soul Artist, Lamar Harmon. Greetings. White. Yeah. And everybody who I didn't name. Greetings and thank you. Um, so yeah, the northwest corner for me, that's where I do the most of my studying in. And
Mm.
the northeast corner, that's where the wealth center is, you said?
Your the northeast corner is a wealth corner, yes. You have wealth, to be honest, in a few different places, or money, but the northwest for the man of the house is
West.
the northwest is where you can activate abundance there as well. But it's like career and your goals and your focus, things that you want to
Wow.
accomplish.
So that makes sense. That's where I do all my planning. By the way,
Nice.
also, greetings, Sunshine Chick. Greetings, Adal Juaj. Peace. Welcome. Yeah, that's perfect. And I love how the fact that energy is its own intelligence. We often erroneously think that this conscious mind and this body knows what's best when it hardly ever does. But
Exactly.
the energy, it's intelligence and it moves on its own. I didn't know previously that the northwest corner would be the place for me to do my studying and planning for business success. But that's where I
Mhm.
naturally gravitated to. Like that's where the dining room is, and it's pretty much my study because nobody eats there, so I use the table as my desk and my bookshelves are in there. It's a big open
That's
space.
awesome. That's Isn't it funny how you find yourself doing things you didn't know was a thing, and then you're like, wow, I've been drawn to do this for a while.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what I love. Like, and for me that kind of takes some of the doubt away, because a lot of people feel discouraged and doubtful, like, oh, I don't know what to do, or how do I know if it's the right thing.
Yep.
Sometimes you got to trust the energy, not your ego, not trust what makes you feel good, not
Exactly.
feel good as far as a tangible physical level, but it's got to feel right. You see the difference? Not feel good, it's got to feel right, because sometimes what feels right don't always feel good. But if you
Mm-hmm.
notice what feels right, you'll start to notice and pick up on the natural current of living data.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And when you do some of the things like what you're talking about, what Kristen's talking about here, and you kind of arrange your house and keep things clean, keep the windows open, just kind of move things where it feels right, you'll notice that energy begins to circulate more. What you focus on expands. So the more that you take attention to doing things like feng shui, you're going to expand the potential of that communication, because it's a communication.
It is.
Life is a communication. None of us are lonely or
Absolutely.
alone. We're always in
Uh,
communication.
always. Always. If I can give you guys a generic overview of the 9 squares of the Bagua, if you would like. Would you like me to do that?
Greeting, stuffed dog. The 9 squares. Okay, I remember you going over this before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, in the chat, do you guys want the 9 squares of the Bagua, or do you want us to go into the Sun and Ardra? Let us know. I don't have any Jeopardy music. Not Jeopardy music.
No, I was giving you Rocky music.
Somebody just said yes.
Yes. Yes. Does that mean both?
We gotta save some for episode 2 and 3, right?
Exactly. Well, but come on now. We know that this is a never ending bowl of information here.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, let's do the 9 squares.
Let's
Greeting.
do that. Okay. So if what would be helpful for everybody if they drew one big square and then split that off into 9 little squares inside of it. Kind of like the tic-tac-toe board, but with squares. All right.
I got a pen, but I ain't got no paper.
Okay, you want to get paper? So
Oh yeah. I can do this.
let me know when you're ready.
Fine. You ain't my mama. Okay, now I need a marker. What the hell? Oh my God. There we go. That's what I need. Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
This is usually what I do my sigils on, because
Mm-hmm.
this is where I started and came up from, working at Lowe's. I used to slice open them boxes so I could stock the paint and all the accessories and shit. I used to take some of the cardboard pieces home. I take my trusty ghetto marker. I used to draw the sigil and do my invocation right here. You know what? It works for me, and I ain't never gonna change it. Always gonna do my sigils on pieces of cardboard and a magic marker, because it
Hell
works.
yeah.
But right now, I'm gonna do my 9 squares.
All right. So there are 2 forms of feng shui. We're just going to do classic, the squares. You can choose to do whichever, but they're pretty much, they're not too far off from each other. So we're going to start off with the top left, which is what'd you say?
Like this?
Oh, hold on. I'm not. Let's see. Got it. Yes, like that. That's perfect.
Hell yeah.
So the top left is going to be your northwest.
Top left is my. Wait. Okay, so what am I drawing in these squares? Because I got marker here. Am I just putting NW, or am I gonna be putting some more stuff in it?
You're going to be writing some more words in there. So I want you to mark your compass. So the directions, and then we're going to be writing what they mean and how they correlate in each one of them. Leave yourself some space.
Okay, so just
maybe get a
corner
pencil
up here, I'm gonna put NW.
Yes.
Got
Northwest. So if that is northwest, the one in the middle is north, and the one on the other end is northeast.
Okay. So that should look like this. I got in the top, in my top left corner is northwest.
Yes.
In the middle is north, and in my top right corner is northeast.
Yes.
Cool beans. Let's continue.
All right. And now underneath the northwest is naturally the west, right? In the middle is the center. And then on the other side is the east. I'm sure everyone knows how to do a compass, but I'm just going to still lay it out. So just in case people are confused. And then underneath the east is obviously the southeast. In the middle of that, in the center is the south. And then the very last square would be the southwest.
Southwest. Got it.
All right. So we will start off. Hold on a minute. Okay. We will start off with what each house, literally house, represents, or which each corner represents. So we'll start off with the northwest. Okay. This is wealth and abundance.
Wealth and abundance. Northwest.
Wealth and abundance. This you can associate like the color purple here if you would like. So the saying for this is the rich and powerful mind attracts the rich and powerful life. So the colors are purple, red, gold, or blue. Good things to display here are works of art, collectibles, statues, bamboo, round leaf plants, not pointy leaf plants. Remember that brings spiky energy. Flowers, bowls of fruit, wind chimes, pictures of like your dream home, your things that you are focused in, what we were talking about before, your goals, your vision boards going up there.
So I'm getting a lot of Venus energy. Like Venus related stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
This is the best place for moving water, like aquariums, fountains, little waterfall things.
Can you repeat that quote again?
Yes. It is rich and positive mind attracts rich and positive life. So the element is wood in this corner. Are you ready to go on to the next one? Okay. The north is reputation and fame. So where'd it go? Reputation and fame. And the saying here is, do you like the way you shine?
I like that.
Yeah. Display in power in red colors and oranges. Those are powerful colors. You would like to put in this corner, like your awards or diplomas, trophies. It's a good place to have a fireplace if you do have one. I mean, not like you can move your fireplace, but if you have a fireplace in that area, that's good. Images of the sun, pyramids, Orgonon, the Orgonon pyramids are good to have there. Any kind of pyramid shape is good to have in that area. Let me pull something up. Hold on 1 second.
I like that. So for everybody that's doing this, I think this would be a really good resource just to kind of keep handy, because the first time you did this, I didn't catch it all, but
Yeah,
definitely making it down this time. So
it's yeah.
Northwest represents wealth and abundance. We got colors like purple, red, gold, and blue. You want to put
Mm-hmm.
things like art and statues, fruit, your dream home images, moving water is
Waterfalls,
good to have there.
aquariums. Yeah.
The quote here is rich and positive mind attracts rich and positive life. And the element is wood.
Yes.
And we got the north. And the north is all about reputation and fame. The quote here is, do you like the way you shine? You want to put stuff like your rewards, your diplomas, trophies, symbols like the sun, symbols like
Mm-hmm.
pyramids,
Yep.
powerful colors like red.
And notice something. The north is very much like the 10th house, right?
Yeah.
And it's got that Leo energy of the sun, right? It's got that fire
The way
energy
you shine,
because
that's Leo.
yep, absolutely. And your social standing and how you're known and how people like you, that's the north right there. And then but in the north, you want to avoid water items. You know why? Because what does water do to fire?
Cancels it out.
Yes, it cancels it out. Or it causes, when fire burns the water, it boils it, it causes steam, it causes the gadanta to happen. We don't want that. That's when the aggression takes place, accidents. But triangles and pyramids are really good to have in this area. And then we move on to the northeast, which is all about relationships and connecting and love. It's the element is earth. This is pink and red and white colors. Shapes to display in this area would be like squares. Hold on. And then let's see. What did that one say? So love and relationship, love is everything. That's what the saying is for this corner. Always put things in pairs here. You remember I talked about the person who had that picture of a single person in the bedroom looking away from the other person. And I'm like, if you guys you're going to have a split, you know what I mean? That causes not to see eye to eye. You want to always have pairs of things, especially in the corners or the areas that represent family or relationships. If you put one of something, it's like saying it's alone. It's, separating it. This is also very powerful, area for connections with business partners. So, kind of like Libra, kind of like the 7th house, right? So, candles, pillows, heart shapes, 2 nightstands. So if it's a bedroom, you want 2 nightstands, not just one. 2 lamps, 2 photos, if they say sometimes in Feng Shui not to put like wild animals in the house. Some of them say that, like images of birds and like elephants and stuff. They say that, but some of them say disagree. So that's up to you if you want to do that, like using like images of lovebirds or something. That's fine. I guess sometimes it comes down to how you perceive the things you're putting in the house, right? So, that, comes into play. And then, yes, then that's an earth element. So we'll go underneath it to the east, which deals with children and creativity, which is like the 5th house, right? So
wait, that's the east?
Yes, the east.
Children and creativity?
Yep. Children and creativity, the east, which would also think of the 5th house, children, creativity. Sorry, a call just tried to come in. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Someone was trying to call me. So, I hate when that happens. Sorry. Okay, so children, creativity. This also has to do with like investments, just like the fifth house. So, the shape that's good in this area for like images or artwork, round. So circular images. And then the colors are white, silver, gray, or copper. The element is soft metal. Avoid fire items in this area. And then you can include earth items to help feed the metal, because metal is still kind of part of earth. You know, the metal feeds into the earth. So this is a good area, like for people that are trying to have children, right? They would want to activate this area of their house. Then the center,
or
okay.
even not children, but I could imagine if you're trying to get over a creative block or maybe come up with some new ideas for your art.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, all of that. Anything to do with creativity. And even, like I said, investing, that, you know, like the fifth house. So, you know, being intuitive, it takes a creative mind and having a almost like a sixth sense to what's coming and what to expect. So this is a good house to activate for that. Now, the middle is the victory, the good fortune. So the center of your home ties into like just the well-being of everyone in the house. The shapes for this area are squares. The colors are yellow, brown, or orange. It's an earth element. Avoid wood. Include fire elements. What I have upstairs, I have a huge antique zodiac globe that is an actual bar. You open it up and it like has all of the stars and constellations and everything. It's a huge globe, and it's like a bar you can serve people drinks with. And I have it up in the middle of, on the second floor, in the middle of my hallway, right in the center there. And it's literally earth. So it's the earth energy there. And I put that there. Seems to work well. And it's yellow and brown colors, the wood. And then the west is your health and family. And so that also represents anyone who might be sick or diseases. Strengthen family and improve general health in this corner, in that corner, the west. So images or shapes that are good in this area are rectangles. The colors green and blue are good to have there. The element is hardwood. Avoid metals in this area and include water items.
Krysten,
so
that is too fast for me to write that down.
Okay.
Last thing I heard was you want some wood that's on hard.
Hardwood. That's the element is hardwood.
So I got health and family. You want images rectangle. What else did you say?
Colors are green and blue. Then the element is hardwood. Hardwood.
Stiff wood.
Stiff ones. Avoid metal items. So don't put wind chimes over here. Unless they're wood. Don't put metal wind chimes there. But you can put water items there. And it would be fun. You know, the northwest corner also likes water, like aquariums and stuff like that. So that little area could be a nice saltwater tank or something. I mean, it also depends on how your house is set up. And that's another topic. But we will move down to southwest, which is wisdom and growth and learning and gurus, enlightenment, basically the ninth house. The shape for that corner is square. The colors are blue, green, and black. And the element is earth. What I personally did in this corner is I put a map on the wall, which represents earth, right? And travel. And this is also goals, this corner specifically, I'm not going to go too deep yet because we're just doing the basics, but this is my corner. It represents me and my goals and what I want to do, the mother of the house. So that's where I put the things I have on the wall, the traveling and the mini version of that mansion and all that is right there. So it's, you can be really creative, and it says to use earth as the element. You can use images of earth or map, anything to deal with earth. Maps, an image of the dirt and like a seed growing out of it. I mean, anything like that. And that would really do well there, considering it's wisdom and growth. An image of like a seedling coming out of the dirt, that would be fantastic in that corner.
Ooh.
And now we go to the south, which is career, work, and success. So this is like the sixth house, of work. And this has to do with free form. So like any kind of, you could, whatever you wish to put there, you can put like image wise, shape wise.
The south is just the anything goes corner, huh?
For shapes. Yeah. Free forms.
Oh,
yes. Promotion, achieving goals, and, the things that we want to accomplish and work towards is this corner. So, the colors of black and dark blue, because it's the element of water. So think of like deep ocean, like deep, dark ocean. So you could put water, what is it? Like water, cures and like, aquariums and waterfalls in this corner as well, if you wanted to.
What about mason jars full of fresh water?
I'll get into that right after we're done with this next part, because it's actually something else that you would like to, something you want to do that's very beneficial. It's called a saltwater cure. So, but in this corner, it's an element of water. So you want to avoid the earth, water elements, and include metal items. So chimes do good here. Wind chimes, especially if it's like outside. But chimes. And then the last but not least is the southeast corner, which represents helpful people. Did you say wait?
Go ahead.
Okay. Helpful people, friends, travel. This is the southeast corner. These are like your mentors, protections, gurus, but also like friends, unexpected help, elders that come through that like help out or give some insight. This is just a good place to just pull in networking. So like 11th house, when you think of like networking and gains through a circle of people.
Hey, that would make a great corner to put an ancestor altar, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
For all y'all ancestor magic people out there.
Yep. Southeast, but also it would be good for the West, because it also represents family lineage, health, and family. So then for the helpful people corner, the mentors and the 11th house type energy of the outer circle, round shapes and oval shapes, obviously circle. There is, in fact, a Feng Shui statue that I have, but you can get in a lot of mystical shops, and it is terracotta or clay stone, one of, you can get one of any of them. And it's a circle of 4 to 6 people holding each other. And it's got a candle holder in the middle. It's used in Feng Shui a lot to put in this corner of helpful people. It's called the helpful people statue, Feng Shui statue. Yep. And
oh yeah, because Feng Shui is a big thing.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. And you put it in this corner, and I'm telling you, it's powerful. It represents the round, shapes, but it also represents the people that it brings in that are helpful, a circle of like-minded individuals. The colors here are gray, white, and black. And this element is hard metal.
So before we had hard wood, now we got hard metal.
Absolutely. And this saying here is, expect to get back only what you give out.
I like that.
Yes.
Expect to get back only what you give out.
Absolutely. I didn't give you the sayings for the other ones, did I?
Hell no.
Okay, so for the children, the one above it in the east, it's bless the child in you and all children around you.
Bless the child in you and all children around you.
Yep. And in the middle, the center, it's, do you wake up feeling happy and well every day?
I do.
There you go.
I go to sleep feeling happy and well.
Hell yeah. In the south, it is, have you fulfilled your dreams yet?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. In the southwest, it is, I can change and grow because now I know how. And the last one is in the west for the family in the house, which is care to be there. These are your basic beginning energies and concepts of what the different squares of your house represent. Okay. You want to find where, line up your front door with your bagua. You want to, take a real compass reading. I think you could use your phone. It'll tell you, basically where everything is. You go out your front door and get a reading there, and then go out, the back door and the side, however your house is set up, and try to get a reading as accurate as possible. And then you're going to literally, if you had a blueprint of your house and it was, laying flat in front of you, you would be laying the bagua right on top of it. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I know that it's no bueno for me to be sleeping with my feet towards the door, but
No. Yeah.
Does the sunrise and sunset have anything to do with it? Should the feet be facing the eastern sun upon awakening, or the head? This question is from Tree Marie.
Okay, so say that one more time. I'm sorry.
She basically asked, should I have my feet facing the eastern sun upon awakening, or my head?
Your head. You want your head to be where the rising sun is. So your feet should be the other way. You want your head always where the rising sun is, and your feet, if you can, can be where it's setting. But you definitely don't want, she already knows that you don't want to have your feet out an open door. Also, you definitely don't want like she said, if your feet are facing the sunrise, it's literally drain, and it's causing sleep problems most likely too, they say. When
Damn.
you're sleeping the wrong direction, or if there's a mirror in front of you, you shouldn't do that either. You shouldn't sleep in front of a mirror. It bounces back the energy out of your body back and forth, boom, 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 all night long, and there's no it's not able to release and move on, because it's bouncing back and forth. So it builds up energy and makes you not be able to sleep, energetic instead of restful. Also,
One of
you
the things that I
shouldn't
do is
have.
I keep a mirror on every corner. Like I keep a full 360 degree of mirrors.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I've been doing that for years. Like just subconsciously for me, I feel like that's a good thing to do for me. Maybe not everybody, but
Mm-hmm. You mean on the corners of?
um one on the north, one on the east, south, and west wall. Just all four walls basically.
Okay, and is it in your bedroom, you mean?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Does it face you directly when you're sleeping? Do any of them?
And also all of them are at a 45-degree angle.
Okay, but do any of them face you directly when you sleep?
I mean, each one of them face inward, so yeah. Like,
Oh,
what do you when you say directly? What do you mean, like? Because I'm laying down. One's across from me. One's above my head.
oh. So if you're laying on your bed, can you see yourself in these mirrors?
No.
Then you should be good.
Okay.
If you could see yourself in the mirrors, if they're above you and you can see yourself, if they're at your head, like right at your head, if they're right at your feet, right at the side, those things are going to be problematic. If you got a window right at your head too, like way, like if you're, I don't mean above you a little bit, but like if your head is literally out the window, basically, like there's no wall, but it's a window instead, that your energy escapes from the head, and that's head and feet. And you don't want to have that either, they say. There is a lot of yeah, there's a lot to it. They also say you shouldn't have electronics in the bedroom at all, but not everyone, like there's things that not everyone can do. So there's some remedies for this. And this is the saltwater cure that I was going to tell you about. So you want to get mason jars, and you're not, after you use them, you will be throwing them out. You will not be using them again. So understand that. Do not just toss out the containers, the stuff that's inside of it, and then keep it afterwards. That'll be bad. So what you're going to do is you're going to get sea salt, whether it's pink Himalayan or kosher, whatever kind of sea salt you want. And you fill up the jar about 2/3 of the way. And then you place 5 pennies on top of the salt, and then you fill the glass a little bit over the salt with water. And then you place these jars with the lid off in different corners of your house. This will tell you which corner is attracting the most negativity, the most stagnant energy, because you'll start to see this thing turn into this like crystal monster. And in the areas where there's not any stagnant energy, it'll stay the same. It won't look different at all. So you'll be able to trap this stuff. It's like an ionizer. It traps because positive ions are bad, not negative, but positive ions are not good for you. It pulls it in. It like cleans and purifies the air and pulls in the static and helps to eliminate the shachi energy, as they call it. That's why the salt caves are so like energizing and helpful, because salt, it truly cleans the air. Like it does something more than just a metaphysical woo-woo thing. It really works.
So I guess theoretically, if I were to have like 20 salt cures in my room, that might actually kind of dissipate that negative energy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Also, you could do what I do, and I make salt bowls. So I get a big, huge porcelain bowl, and instead of water, this is a different thing. You get a ton of salt, a shit ton of salt, And then you find some essential oils that you really like. Get some essential oils, and and then you're gonna make a huge mixer with the essential oils and this salt. You can get like lemon and put a little bit of what is that? Like lemon balm, lemongrass, lemon, and do a whole toss of it, and it will smell amazing for the longest time. And then you could literally set your crystals in it if you want, and it'll help clean your crystals. But what this does is it ionizes the air, right? So you set it down, and you could be there for months. I don't know if anyone's been in Whole Foods, but in Whole Foods, you go buy the soaps, and they have these huge bowls of salt and sugar that smell amazing. That's what it is. It's the same thing. And they make salt scrubs. It's basically a salt scrub, but it's for your air. So you're just gonna make tons of salt scrubs that smell amazing. Use any essential oil or fragrance oil that you choose. I like the essential oils because there's some therapeutic properties to that. And you just lay them out all through the house. It smells amazing. And if you put like a candle holder in it, and then you put the candle, when it gets warm, it smells even stronger. I like to use jasmine, rose, and gardenia essential oil. And it just smells fantastic. But yeah, there's just something that happens when the house smells good. And there's been salt cleansing. So you could take the salt cleansing to a whole nother level and salt the floor. I know that's like, what? You're going to put salt all over the floor? After you have swept your regular stuff up, start to salt your floor. Put it all over the place, unless it's like a carpet and it's hard for you to vacuum up. If it's hardwood floor, this is good to do. Salt your corners, salt everywhere, and let it sit for a couple minutes. Then you start to sweep from the back of the house, and you pull it all up. You from every corner, and you bring it all the way up till you get to the front of the house, this big pile. And then you're gonna pick it up, but you got to sweep it out your front door into a dustpan. But it's got to go out your front door, and it's pulling all of the stagnant energy of people's feet and dirty shoes and the things and the muck and the energy that they pull through your house. It pulls it out, because the floor, that's where all the lowest energy is, right? So it truly does something more than just a regular sweep. You're going to feel this like brand new, clean feeling, like this emptiness, just like when you're yelling in a hall and it's like echo, 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 something like that seems to happen. And then you could use like Florida water. I like to make my own, but you can get some Florida water and then add a little bit of salt and some essential oils into that. Some Murphy's oil soap. Wash your floor down, your walls. Oh my God, your house will feel so amazing. And make it a ritual, because house cleaning could be boring, right? But when you make it a ritual, it becomes something more, and it gives you so much more, and you want to keep up with it then.
Yeah, you put the magical element into it, so that takes on a whole new purpose.
Yeah, it makes it a game. It makes it fun. Is tile better than carpet? Tile is fine. Yep, tile. You could also make your own like floor washing solutions with essential oils. Like, I don't know if anyone in this group has heard of Thieves essential oil. It is fantastic to use on the floor and to use in house cleansing rituals. You can make your own, or you can just get some, you can go to the store nowadays and get Thieves essential oil, and you can add that to whatever hot soapy water you make. I personally like Murphy's oil soap to add it to that, because Murphy's oil soap has the similar smell of Melissa oil, which is lemon balm, and it just deeply cleans my house, and it smells good when I mix it with my Florida water and all that. So it just does something. And then if you take it to the walls, bring it from the top all the way down. And just remember that when you're sweeping and you're doing the whole house, start from the top and the back. You know, you want to like make it into one big pile instead of doing a bunch of little ones and then dumping them in a bag like we normally do. You want to like sweep it out together, make this one big pile and pull it all the way through, like it's pulling it all the way out, and it goes out the front door. But you gotta obviously don't just put it on your fucking front steps or your porch. You want to get that up and out and dump it. And they say it's best to put it in a garbage bag and take it off the land, toss it in the garbage, like to a dumpster somewhere.
I remember making that mistake many times. I think maybe the first few times I literally just opened the door and like swept it out the door.
Oh yeah, no, because now it's in your yard.
Yeah,
and it's yep.
So that's the mistakes you make when you're a beginner are,
of course, yes.
People give up at that point. Lamar Harmon says, I did that from intuition when I lived in Puerto Rico. Just threw mad salt on the floor and then cleaned it. I ain't know nothing about this world or a ritual or anything. LOL.
Isn't that funny how that happens? You know, it's just intuitively we know. We just know at our animalistic depths. We know what's going to work. We just got to trust ourselves. And sometimes we test it out and it might not work, but hey, that's how you learn, right? It's how you learn.
They're saying my mic is low. Is my mic low? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. That from intuition. But, you know, people, they talk about salt and how you put a salt line around your doors and stuff, but I don't think people really understand the power of salt. You know, like it's more than just, a play tool or a manifesting, focusing tool. It really has a physical reaction. It really pulls out the muck. The muck. You can use brick dust to line your porch, the outside of your porch too, instead of salt. But you don't want to wash your floor with brick dust. That's different. Salt.
That's a lot of data, Krysten.
Yeah, there is a lot of data. And, this is the first one. I mean, we've talked before on lives, but this is like the first one giving me an idea of how I'm going to bring this and what kind of information to bring. So now I'll have an idea and I'll have some for the next time, some slides that I can send you to put up so people can have visuals. And I'll have some links and some references so people can really dig in.
Yeah.
So this will help. So I know that someone asked about any kind of references or links. So I will bring that for the Feng Shui and the astrology.
But this is going on the podcast. They won't be able to see the images there.
No, so I'll be able to tell them though there. At least we'll be able to say it to them for next time and tell them where they can look things up and where they can come to our pages and see them on our own pages, the things we speak on.
Okay, so as a recap for those who may have just joined or maybe feel a bit overwhelmed at all the data that has been unloaded by a Gemini in her zone. We talked at first a lot about the 10th house, right? The 10th house being the face of the general public for you, the public facing version of you. For example, me being a YouTuber or whatever the hell it is. A lot of people see me, a lot of people perceive me. So what you're seeing of me is represented in my chart as my 10th house. So one piece of great advice for me and for you, um, to maximize profitability in that sphere, is to really dig into that 10th house and intentionally bring more of it out. So, just for example, in my sidereal, Virgo rules my 10th house. It's not about what planets are in there, although that it helps to look into that, but Virgo rules my 10th house. So it would be very beneficial for me to do whatever I can to tap into Virgo energy and allow that, invoke that and allow it to manifest through this public facing avenue. So whatever in my mind that I understand as Virgo energy, because this is all subjective. Your understanding of Virgo is different than mine, right? My dad was a Virgo. I was raised by a Virgo. So I have a very clear image of my version of Virgo energy, right? And I've connected him with some of the females in my life that are Virgos that I enjoy communicating with. Um, just mash all that up together and find the underlying connection. Because that's the thing about this magic. You got to understand the master key here is correspondence. That's why Aleister Crowley wrote 777. Right. That's why Godwin's Kabbalistic Encyclopedia on my shelf is the pages are falling out because I don't flip through it so many times. That's why it's so important to have a correspondence at your disposal, because that is the meat and potatoes of magic. So for me to tap into Virgo energy, I need to tap into all the correspondences of Virgo and find the common
Yes.
denominator and apply that to myself. And that's going to allow me to tap into my personal 10th house. And as you're going to see here very soon, that's going to allow me to have a lot more success. So for
Yes.
you, viewer and listener, what rules your 10th house? What sign rules your 10th house? Figure that out and figure out different ways for you to grab a hold of that energy, right? If it's a Leo, what do you understand about Leo? Invoke that in yourself. Bring it out of yourself, right? Be that in front of the public, right? Or whoever, even if you just go to work and you entertain the people in the break room, be your 10th house in that moment and be a scientist, catalog what differences and what changes you see, because this is all about science and it's all subjective to your individual experience. That doesn't mean anything goes and you can't be wrong. That means that the opposite. Don't get so closed into someone else's parameters. Gather data for yourself and understand what these things mean. And if you gather enough data, you'll see that there are no barriers and all the shit is the same across the board. But anyways, that was the first part. 10th house and how it can affect your public relations. If even if it's just your break room entertainment, or if you got 50 million fans on TikTok or whatever the hell you're doing. Um, we also, Kristen also brought to our attention Feng Shui and how you can apply the knowledge of Feng Shui to improve the harmonious circulation of energy in your life, right? How to structure your house so that things work better for you. She gave us this 9 square chart. And if you didn't get it, just rewind. But basically, you split this up. In the top left corner is going to be the northwest, and the top right corner is going to be the northeast, the center and the center, the bottom right corner southeast, and the bottom left corner southwest, and all the different correspondences and information and data. And basically, you lay out your floor plan. You look at your house, you get your compass or your phone compass app, and you just want to make sure that everything in these corners, or what do we call them, vectors, quadrants in your house, make sure that they line up with the energy that it naturally represents, right? Because this also ties into Vedic science. In the Akasha, it represents the space, right? And then within that space, air is circulating. Now, there's a pattern to everything in manifest and unmanifest reality. Now, the pattern that we're looking at here, Akasha is the boundary and it's the space. So within Akasha, there are segments of data. If you align your life to the natural flow of this data, you're going to find that things are going to work so much better for you. So that's what we've talked about today.
Yeah.
If you want more of this information, you can rewind, or better yet, you can do some research. which, you know, I will never say don't do because that's the best way to learn. Gather as much data as you can, right data, correct data, tested data, and then enhance your experience with the results you get from trying it out.
Absolutely. And you can tune in 2 weeks when we come back.
Hey, you can tune in 2 weeks when we come back with episode 2 of the Vedic Astrology Podcast, because that name ain't taken till now.
Absolutely. Hey, hey.
So cool.
What can I do? Okay, someone just asked, Krysten, I still want to know what I can do with my toilet. Is north? Your toilet's in the north, you're saying? What can you do to alleviate those energies, as you're asking? So you're not flushing things down the toilet like energy and wealth? Is that what you're asking?
Oh, shit.
I'm going to assume that's what you're asking. So always keep the toilet closed. Don't ever have the lid up. That's important. And I always close the toilet when you flush it. Don't leave it open when you flush it. When you flush it and it's open, it like sucks the energy down. Leaky pipes and drains that in certain areas of the house can drain us of money. So you need to close the lid, flush. But also, if the toilet is in that area and you're feeling that it's not, helping in that area, because of the water, you can put a saltwater cure. Even though it is another water, it is saltwater cure. It's a little different. So you can also put a Kuan Yin statue. You can always put that, like a little one. You can put that there. There's a couple of different remedies. You can put the salt bowl instead of the salt water. You put the salt bowl on the top of the toilet, the back of it. That can help. Yes, common sense. Absolutely.
Look, see, this whole experience is a big ass experiment. It's an experiment. So don't be afraid to try something new. That's how we learn. If you don't try anything new, that means by default you're just doing the same thing over and over again. And what is the definition of insanity? So when it
Absolutely.
comes to these type of things here, you literally want to be a scientist, right? You don't want to get stuck in boundaries, right? Because if you do that, you're at the final stage of manifestation, which is the earth element. And what's after that is death, right? You want to consistently be the scientist who's always testing, 100% testing, right? A lot of these successful people, these entrepreneurs, these business owners, these famous people, they didn't just take what they took to get there and stopped. They're still educating themselves. They're still training. They're still practicing. They're still learning new things because they also have to continue testing. The market never stays the same. The world, this is the place of change, right? What worked yesterday, what worked 5 years ago, 10 years ago, may not necessarily work today. So you want to continue to try new things. Don't ever get stuck in the know-it-all mode. Like I could stop studying right now, and for a good while, I could still feel like the top shit. But I understand that information and data is infinite. So why would I
Absolutely.
stop? There has to be a
Yes.
currency going, right? There has to be currency.
Yes.
There has to be a taking in and a putting out. Taking in and put that's life. That's why you breathe and you exhale. So this information that we're giving here, you can listen to it, you can agree with it, you can disagree with it, you can call it hocus pocus. Um, what I would suggest is taking something that resonates here and testing it, right? The very simplest thing you could do is look at your chart, see what's in your 10th house, right? And then analyze that sign. if you're a Cancer, you know how a Cancer behaves. You know it's Cancer season. You're gonna see all kind of Cancer activity for the next 20 days.
Mhm.
But look at your 10th house and analyze what the 10th house is about. Try to move in such a way that you express your interpretation of that sign and just analyze the results that you get. You might notice that, hey, this is pretty cool, the result I'm getting. This is how magic works. Keep testing stuff. That's why I keep talking about so many different topics and different things, because I'm throwing seeds out there like Rohini does, right? Because I want some of these seeds to kind of just take root and you to test and get your own new data. So don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid to go out there and maybe look silly or whatever, because even then that's data that you're gaining. You learn what not to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
For those of you who have a 10th house of Leo,
Me.
It's 8 o'clock.
thanks, Maxine.
Don't roll your eyes. You know you love us. Haha. 10th house, not from Indastro. Wait, what? Godflow, wait, the tropical sign of the 10th house, not from Indastro? I'm not sure what he's saying. Sunshine check. K2 is the ruler of my 10th. What is the sign of your 10th house? The sign, not the planet sitting in there. My 10th house is Pisces. Oh, Pisces. So the only Pisces I know is a drug addict. Not all Pisces are that way. And you're going off of what? The sign of the sun sign, right? Of a tropical, or you're talking about sidereal now. Remember, because you're in sidereal, and it depends on the nakshatra of the Pisces. It depends on the pada, and then it also depends on the other placements on if that Pisces will have escapist tendencies. So it depends.
Yeah. And again, like I said, experiment. You
Yes,
got
the
your
sign.
sidereal chart and your tropical chart. So you might have a different 10th house for both of those. Experiment, test. You tell me what's the better one for you. I can't tell you. I mean, I can tell you something, but
In the pinned comments, it says tropical 10th house. What pinned comments? I'm sorry, what are you saying?
I asked the question, what's you guys' tropical 10th house? That's what I asked.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yes, whether it's your tropical 10th house or your sidereal 10th house, both of them are important. Remember, the sun, the tropical is your sun, is your ego. The moon, sidereal, is your mind, your higher consciousness. So both of those midheavens, both of the 10th houses are going to give results in different ways, but they're going to give you results in public, in the public's eye. So you want to know both your sidereal and tropical 10th house signs and learn about what they are, what they mean, what they're associated with, the colors. And if you're in front of a screen, if you're in front of an audience, you need to be that sign. If you're a Sagittarius, you need to get flamboyant. You need to get Jupiterian. You need to get heated. You need to get saggy. And that will bring success with that audience you're in front of. So should I do an in-depth study of Cancer and Leo to reflect? Yes, you should. Django, yep, same. Yes, 10th house cusp, but yeah.
I love this because, like, the type of person I am, I've got an engine that can do anything, but there's a barrier in front of that engine where, like, I have to have the right data. Once I have the right data, I'm gone. And this right here is some good ass data to experiment with. Like, I already feel like this is gonna be something. I'm excited.
It is. The minute I was thinking about implementing it myself, and then I'm like, I have to tell Trav, because we all know you by the black and red. We all know you by your ascendant, by Mula, by that energy you're giving us as Mula. Okay, that's what we know you by. A lot of us love it, but it hasn't gotten as far as you should, and that's because it's your true self, and only some of us are going to connect with that. but the masses connect with something different. They connect
Oh.
with, they connect with what the sun's given them. They connect with that ego, right? Which is noon, which is the 10th house. They want to see your ego, and your ego is Virgo. My ego is Leo or Cancer.
Would you say the video that I did with the Necronomicon would be Virgo?
Yes.
Because the way I think of Virgo, I think of very scrutinizing details. I think of like, somebody that's very
I would
detailed.
say even it's a little Mars energy. So even Aries, which I loved it. But it's still very much though your ascendant. It's still very much your stamp, your ascendant stamp, the moolah that we know, the dark, the images that we come to see. So if you were to, I'm very interested to see you change colors, just for a video and see what happens. Change the colors, change the look, change whatever, even maybe the sound, the whole thing. Add some kind of Virgo, add someone who is a Virgo in the background, their song, their music or something like that. Just
with it.
Yeah, really kind of go at it and see what happens.
I'm gonna look up what nakshatra my Virgo starts in. Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you can look the house nakshatra. You can look that up.
The house nakshatra.
Yeah.
The house nakshatra. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You can do that. That could help you pinpoint. Yeah, but it can help you pinpoint. But remember, you want to be ambiguous. So you want all of Virgo. It's not because you're appealing now to many people. That's why you want all of Virgo instead of just a nakshatra or just a planet. Because you want all of Virgo's energy, every bit of it, because it's the whole house. So you take, I mean, it's fine to look in the nakshatra, of course, but this is more of just representing, the generic, ambiguous, this is Virgo type energy. This is what Virgo means. A very tropical like reading of what Virgo is. But putting like aspects of the nakshatras behind you and things like that, set it up in a way where everything has a meaning.
I like this. You're giving me new mental toys to play with.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of all the Virgos that I know and like what's the common denominator between them.
I can send you a post I made on Virgos if you want. That'll help.
Mm-hmm.
Virgo is the hard worker, but also smart, mathematical.
Yeah, that's right. They are hard workers.
Yeah.
All the Virgos I know are hard workers.
Very hard workers. Get somebody. They, Hasta is also in Virgo. So they're funny. They're really good at doing impersonations. Oh, let me tell you, if you were to do impersonations or something, because that's a Virgo Hasta thing, that I would be interested to see what would happen with that with you. I don't know if you could do impersonations, but something like that.
Love and light, brethren. The Pleiadians have come with a message to share. The incarnated Christ. Namaste.
Namaste.
This is good info, man. I'm ready. Hell yeah. As soon as we get off this, I'm on my Virgo shit.
Yes. I wanted to bring stuff that we could apply now and get results now. See, work with things that is going to bring us some kind of success.
I'm going to test it out on my TikTok. TikTok is the place where I test things.
Yes, same.
That's why I don't tell people to go follow me there, because I don't want them to see me in my naked testing.
But it's good. Yours is good. Yours is really good.
Don't
look at me. They're all going to laugh at you.
It's raw. They're all going to laugh at you.
They're all going to laugh at you.
Cool beans, man. You know what? Life is so exciting. I learn new shit like every day. Like, how can people say they're bored? I don't get it. I'm bored. There's nothing to how? Just
Yeah.
like literally just open your eyes. Like life has so much stuff to learn about. This is
Yeah.
exciting.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Man. Yeah, you made me feel good. I got something
I'm
to
glad.
do. I was almost getting sleepy, because I've been up for a
The
day.
same. When you called me, I was almost passing out. I'm like, shit, wake up. I got this live. I got this podcast. Witch Talk. Yep. You can find me on TikTok. It's a mix though of it's a mix of things, whether it's my
Testing things
art,
out.
my astrology. Yep. But I keep blowing up for entertainment of like spookiness, which is interesting. Not interesting. I'm not surprised. This is what I was always known for as a kid, scaring the shit out of everybody. So seems to stay with me. It works. People love it. And it's what's great is when they comment to tell you how fucked up it is. And I'm like, thanks for the comment. Thanks for the like.
Hey, I've
I
been through.
appreciate it.
Yeah, we've been through the rigmarole already. Little TikTok comments ain't gonna throw any of us off.
Nah.
This is good. This is good. It's fun watching you have success too, because like you found a niche. You found something, and it's working pretty well for you. I'm excited to see how far this goes. We just started, Krysten.
I know.
We just started. What is it? A week ago?
Just a week ago, literally a week ago. My son was waking me up in the middle of the night. He's like, that video you just posted's got 92K. I'm like,
Man, look at that
what?
shit. Man. That's exciting. Look, you're doing it. Look, we just started. You already hitting it like that, man. Cool.
Well, and the funny thing is that 3 a.m. energy and what I posted at 3 a.m. And it was funny because after the first video went viral like that, like I kept getting cheesy synchronicities that 666, 666, and devil this and demonic this and Satan this, and I'm like, I see you. I'm like, cool, okay, this is telling me to
Hey,
keep going. Then
you're
yeah,
tapping into the egregore of the Muggles.
yeah, yes, exactly.
Their version of
And
the esoteric is like knocking at your
yes,
door.
exactly.
Can you teach me
And
something?
yeah. And it's really cool though, because I don't know, it's cool. It's like I said, the steps that I've taken first with your group and then doing the lives we did, and now we're doing this, and then now TikTok, slowly getting me out there to start my YouTube and all that. It's like helping me to understand this instead of just jumping right in like some people do, and doing the studying and learning from the other people who already made it, like the guy we watched who's telling us how he made it and following what he's doing, and it seems to work.
Modeling success is quite a powerful thing, isn't it?
It is. I have a new idea too, and the thing is now I'm getting these ideas that are coming because people will say something in one of my videos. I'm like, oh, that makes a good video. I'll make a video on that. And then I'm like, do you want to see a video on this? People are like, yeah. So I make the video. And the last one I told you about that I made about children, people were really interested in the psychology aspect of it. And that got me to thinking about NLP and you, and like giving tips and little, do you want to learn how to do this? Do you want to do this? Do you want to learn how to stop smoking?
That's Prometheus fire. We don't just give that stuff out.
Well, but you can give little bits of it though. You can give little bits to reel people in, you know what I'm saying? Things that'll give them results that they can go, oh wow, this is working. Oh, okay. And then coming back to listening to your, more of your videos. It's just giving them little bits, because it's like what is that? Like you're fishing, getting the bite on something and then reeling them in,
Story and offer.
Yep.
Every offer has multiple stories, and every story has multiple hooks.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'd love to share all the knowledge with all the world, but we don't have the time for that.
No. There's only so much you can, you can give away.
Attention span.
Mm-hmm.
I love this because the challenge for me is like, how do I condense all this information into 15 fucking seconds? How do I condense all this into 60 seconds? I like that challenge because it's kind of adapting me to think in a modern world, right? Like in a world of people who don't read books, in a world of people who don't have the ability to sit down for 5 minutes, how can I communicate with these people? How can I convince these people to buy a book and read it? So this is like a fun kind of challenge for me.
Absolutely. It is. What I've been doing is finding like the the climax part of a video or an interesting thing, like the climax, and I give it right to the part where it comes up to the climax, and then I end it just enough because you can only put so much in. Then I put a link of the full video or the full link in the pinned comment, and people, they just love it. They're so interested. If you get like videos or clips of things and you talk about it, like the one of the guy who he shot himself in the face, but was like walking around the hospital in Brazil, and he said he was possessed, but it was bath salts. So I said, possession or substances? What is it? Shit. Yeah. I'm like, possession or substances? What do you think it is? Everyone's like, possession. Everyone's like, oh, substances that led to possession. People were going off in the comments. So I was like, yeah, what are your experiences with it? Like, you just let them. People want to talk about their experiences. They want to tell you what happened to them one time. That's like with sleep paralysis. I said, I told them about what happened to me when I was camping, that video of the demon, that was real. I was laying down, passing out. That show Evil was on, but it was real low, but I was passing out and I hear Krysten. And I'm like, what the fuck? I woke up. I'm like, where did that come from? Everyone's sleeping. I was like, I know I just heard that. And I looked at my phone and it was a show and there was a demon on it talking. So I rewound it and he said Krysten to the girl in the movie. I'm like, what are the chances that her name was Krysten? And it was 3 a.m. I was supposed to be making a fucking video, but I fell asleep. And it was
look, man, look, the world devil egregore thing is trying to get your attention. Like
it was.
It's an entity.
I'm telling you. So I made a video about that happening to me. That blew up. People were like, yeah, that's such a good show. Or, oh yeah, sleep paralysis. That sucks. So then I went and made a sleep paralysis video. And then people wanted to talk with
you.
I'm telling you.
That night, I made a sleep paralysis video too. You want to know what happened? What? I was falling asleep. I couldn't stay up. I'm trying to like edit this shit and I'm passing out. And I was probably working on it for maybe 2 or 3 hours just because I was dozing off. Yeah. And eventually something fucked up to where all the audio was gone. So it's like after all that work, I couldn't post it. Wow. Then I woke up and I re-recorded it. Then I put it in my drafts to post automatically. And I woke up, it didn't post. And then it said deleted by a third party. Anyways, I did all that work and it wouldn't let me post it whatsoever. Dang. Here you go with the sleep paralysis video at the same time.
That's crazy. Yeah. And then I posted the video from the Doris Bitter story, who is from that movie, The Entity, which was all about sleep paralysis and sexual attacks from demonic entities. So I basically put a clip of the old trailer and asked questions over it and said the true story. And have you experienced sleep paralysis? Tell me your story. People want to tell you when you give people a chance to tell them, for them to tell you something about them. They want to talk. They want to tell you what happened to them. Just like my Robert Johnson story. Oh, everyone from Mississippi was like, yeah, I live down the street. Oh yeah, that's a true story. Oh no, that's bullshit. I know those people. I know that family and that didn't happen. And everyone wanted to talk about it. So it's like, okay, what do people want to talk about? They want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about a rumor and they love spooky. So, make it to where people want to give their opinions, especially the ones that want to talk shit. Because then you get people in the comments going at it. So it's like, thanks for the comments, thanks for the views, thanks for the over and over again.
Okay, so just a tip. As a marketer, one thing I see, you got a bucket and you got a hole in that bucket. One good way to patch up that bucket is maybe to start making longer videos, just like you're making now, but make the long ones on YouTube. Like make your own version of the video that you're sending people to. So that way you can send them to your channel.
Oh yeah, no, I eventually plan on doing that. Some of these, the problem is with that, I haven't figured out how to edit at all. I'm just figuring out how to do YouTube edit. I'm not YouTube, TikTok edit.
You'll get to it. You'll get to it. You're already thinking
Yeah.
about it, so
I'm like, man, I have ideas for videos like now. I'm like, I don't know how to freaking edit. I don't know how to put any of this together on my tablet. I don't know how to do it yet. I'm trying to learn. I'm watching these YouTube videos to try to get an idea how to do it. But so far, just the TikTok is all, is what I've only got down so far, how to use the TikTok. And my son taught me some extra tips on the TikTok, like how to time, like, words to pop up and stuff, and he's really good at it. He's gotten a bunch of followers a couple of times and erased his account like 3 times and got tons of followers again. I'm like,
yeah. Once you get the formulas down to anything, like you can have repeated success. Like that's what I love. Like nothing is a struggle to me. All I need to do is find the person who's figured it out and get it from them, no matter
yeah,
how much it costs, whether it's money or time. If I need it, I'm gonna get it. So there's no struggling and trying to rack my brain. But MC Maestro is right. He says Krysten's giving out too much secrets right now.
yeah.
I think somebody had a question. There were a couple questions about the 10th house. What
Someone
they had
just,
said.
yeah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You go ahead.
Someone was saying that their 10th house is Jupiter. Jupiter is in my 10th house. What you want to look at is just the 10th house. What is the sign that the 10th house is? Don't look at the planets right now in there. What is the sign that is your 10th house? That is what you need. Yeah, not the planet, but the sign. That is what you need to focus on. And then the planet that rules that sign. And then you can go into details and add the planets that are in that house if you want to get more detail, but to get it in a safe and relative, not complicating things. What is the sign in that house? And learn that sign, implement that sign, and make yourself come off as that sign as much as possible on screen or to your public, whoever you are in contact with, that you wish to have notoriety from or fame through or recognition for or success, through networking, all of that. You have to be your 10th house. That's what you have to do. Play it up.
Hey, Krysten. Yes, I love that. I'm gonna try that instantly. In the chat, Regina is asking, "What is your channel or Instagram?" Do you what channel do you want to give her? Because I know some you use more than others.
Yeah, I know I have to make a.
What do you use currently? Like, what do you actively use?
Well, now I've been actively using the TikTok because that's what I'm trying to focus to build an audience there to then move over to YouTube. Excuse me. But then, I mean, I do have an Instagram. It's at Witchy Crafter. Right? Isn't that what it is? No, it's Witchy Woman Beauty. That's what it is for my Instagram, which is basically it's my soap business, but I'm going to probably create something different for this group, the astrology and such. Right, I was thinking about making a different Instagram, but for now you can do that. And then of course you can follow me on TikTok at Witchy Crafter. Tropical is Western, Malachi.
Ooh. Oh, sweet. You're posting my video.
Yes.
Oh. How do I copy the link?
Right. What is Christian channel Instagram? The next step is a challenge for me.
There's so much stuff that I just found out that I want to reveal, but
Mhm.
I don't know if I should. Like, I just want to give everything out.
Mm.
I guess I'll give a tease. There is a spiritual master who I've been learning from, who doesn't really have any content out on YouTube, mainly because he died long before YouTube was invented. However, someone has, out of the kindness of their hearts, uploaded some footage, hours worth of footage of this person lecturing. And I can't help, well, I don't know. Either it's because of what we're doing or just because the energy is here now for it, or both. But one of the ascended masters now has a lot of content on YouTube. Um, exciting, exciting,
Mhm.
exciting. This like knowledge is not ever lost. For anyone who thinks like, oh, they burned the books and oh, Atlantis is
Right.
drowned, we'll never know. Get that out of your head. That's limited human thinking. The physical consciousness is under the dominion of the astral and the mental and the causal. So these higher planes, they have the final say. The earth plane, this is just a little, but all that data and knowledge, all that data and knowledge that has been condensed. Dion Fortune talks about this too. No, who talked about that? I think that was Isaac Bentov in Stalking the Wild Pendulum. All the data that has been accumulated during a person's lifetime. Yeah, Dion Fortune talked about this too. It's over a person's lifetime. Like I say, all the studying that I'm doing, it's condensed into a packet of data. Now my body's gonna die, but all the little packets of data that I've been working for years to accumulate, this is gonna stay forever, and it's gonna be added to the cosmic library. Which means that all it takes is for someone with the knowledge to tap into this bubble, the same way that we're tapping into Ophiel and Swami Satyananda and all these others, Dion Fortune, etc. We're tapping into the knowledge bubbles of condensed data. It's not lost. It's not lost. You just got to know how and where to find it. So don't ever think that, oh, we'll never be able to read the pyramid text. Get rid of all that stuff. Like anything is possible with the proper focus.
Yeah.
Telling y'all, if y'all don't get it by now, you ain't gonna get it.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Thank you, Tree Marie. That's my Instagram. Yeah, I guess I'm kind of spread thin through a couple things, but I'm trying to time management so I can really focus on social media to build that up. Don't forget, I still got my soap business I'm also doing. And then I got my kids are both working and they're both in after school activities, cheerleading and his sports. So I'm not really on Instagram as much as I should be to promote this stuff here, but I'm going to be now that this is happening. Steps.
For me, I think the way I resolve that challenge is by trying to come up with a system to make everything smooth. Like,
Yes.
I'm really pushing myself since after the focus challenge. I've been pushing myself to do the most that I can. right?
Mm-hmm.
Trying to post on Instagram 3 times a day. I'm doing the TikToks daily. Fuck it, I've got no excuse. I'm
Same.
doing TikToks daily.
Absolutely
And
same.
I'd like to do more live streams. I'm doing the YouTube shorts daily. Like I'm really trying to push myself to put out as much uh valuable content, not just dry content where I'm, just recording for the sake of it, because that's a waste of time. I respect every one of my viewers and followers. I'm not going to waste your time. So I'm pushing myself to put out content that's useful, that you can use, that you're going to spend your minute or your hour watching me, you're going to get something out of it. So for me right now, the way that I'm doing that is I just got a little system. Like, I'm gonna spend X amount of time on this, X amount of time on this. I'm not gonna eat. I'm not gonna play Fortnite. I'm not gonna do any of that stuff until I get X amount done. So that kind of just keeps me focused to work towards it. Um, but yeah, all that to say, maybe if you can work on coming up with some kind of system where you can get it done smoother, it won't be so much of a hassle.
Oh, I actually got a system. The thing is that I got so much in the system that I'm spread thin. I already only sleep 4 hours anyways, which that's normal for me. But that's why I was falling asleep before we hopped on here. The thing is, what I'm trying to do is cut out the things now that are. I'm focusing on the things that need to be done right now first, and take steps instead of jumping in on them all at once. The Instagram will be the next, then the YouTube will be next, and Patreon's coming soon too. So I got that in this, in this whole thing, and the whole thing with TikTok. That was an experiment with you and me, and it's turned into something. So now I got to make sure that I make at least 3, at the very least, videos a day, and then at the right times. So I'm doing that, and one of the right times is 3 a.m. So for my content, at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, the systems, that's the time management. That is key. That is what I am working on as much as possible, trying to get things as much as possible done.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's an important part of it also, figuring out what is most important to do.
Exactly. Yep. I was excited for that's why I said instead of every Friday, every other Friday, because I know that there's other stuff going on. Plus, it gives me a good amount of time to get some good information together on what we're going to talk about, what I'm going to bring to everybody. So I figured that would be a good space.
All right. So everybody who has been hanging out with us tonight, is this something that you want to see? Is this something that you want to do every other Friday? Have us talk about, or mostly stay focused on Vedic stuff, and talk about the astrology. Does this sound like something that you guys would be interested in? Let me know in the chat here, because your feedback is important. Honestly, why else would we be doing this? So let us know if you're enjoying this, if this is something that you're interested in. Just, give us a comment. And also, go to themajorsociety.com. And if you have any suggestions that you want to hear about, or if you have any topics you want Krysten to talk about as far as Vedic astrology is concerned, just use the website as a place to let us know what you want to hear about, because we can talk about anything, right? But it's more relevant to talk about what you need to hear. You feel me? Like, we can sit up here and talk about Saturn every Friday, but if you're trying to figure out about Mars and Neptune, then you're not going to get value. So value isn't what I determine value is. It's value how you determine what value is, because you're the ones who are watching this and commenting. So let us know here if this is worth your time, if you want to see more of this, and go to themajorsociety.com. And whenever it comes to you, because it's a website, it's 24/7. Give us ideas. Tag Krysten, tag me. Let us know what you
Yes.
want us to talk about. And I mean, this is a community. This is how we do that, right? Feedback. This is not like just me or Krysten up on some YouTube mountain. Like, obviously, we're talking to you guys here in the chat. You communicate with me, so let me know. Let us know. Let her know.
Absolutely. And like you said, we're both on there. You can message me on there too. Talk to me on there on the Magis page. Not the Facebook one. He's talking about the actual group on the internet, right? You're talking about?
Yes. Majorsociety.com.
Yeah, majorsociety.com. Although I'm also on the Facebook one. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I probably use that more than the Facebook. Like,
Same.
I post on Facebook because I know there are some people who don't use the other networks, but if I had my way, I wouldn't go back on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, no offense to anybody in particular, but it's just starting to feel like going into Walmart now. Is that bad?
I understand. Yes.
Okay, it looks like a lot of people have responded that this is something that they enjoy. So that's good. Feedback.
I'm
Like
glad.
I said, if you have any ideas or any
Aw.
topics or something you want us to talk about, let us know.
Oh, Tree, that's very sweet of you, honey. I appreciate you saying that. Yes, astrology on Friday, well, twice a month. So every other Friday, Wild Moon. And book study on Sundays. Yes, every Sunday. Yes, Godflow, I'm working on it. Trav has been an angel on my shoulder, helping me and holding my hand along the way towards my own platform. So I'm working on it.
That's how I get fulfillment, helping people.
And I appreciate it. You want to tap into your K2, Tree Marie. Okay. Have you gotten the Bij mantra for your K2 nakshatra? That's one way to do it, to start activating it. Who loves orange soda?
I wonder if his name is Kel.
Yeah, Django. Cancer and its moon connection. Absolutely. Yeah, you and I have the same midheaven, Django, because excuse me, I'm Cancer in sidereal and then Leo in tropical. So you and I would benefit from the same types of energies. We should connect and talk about it, you and I. See what kind of things we can find and dig up and try to experiment with. Vedic and love readings with the 7th house would be spicy info. Oh yeah, there's also okay, we can do the compatibility readings. And how do we do that? How we basically associate people's moons and because that's the mind, right? But see, a lot of compatibility they do with the moons, but it's more than that, because the moon is the mind. So the mind has to be to a place where they can get along, right? Of course. But some people might get along sexually only, or sexually plus the moon and the ascendant and the sun. So we can get deep into that. There's a whole aspect to it. And then there's also certain nakshatras that should not connect because it can bring tragedies. So that's something we definitely can get into. And I have a book that we could talk on that mentions it. So we can have that whole conversation. We can get into all that.
All that. You know what would be really cool, Krysten?
Mm-hmm.
For everyone who is like having trouble just figuring out any of this Vedic stuff, to come up with some kind of like primer course, like nothing too deep, but like
Mm-hmm.
all the basics in one place so that these conversations make sense.
Yes, we could definitely do that. I think that that's something we could put together for sure. Oh, I understand about not wanting the love readings. I know it. When people do tarot readings on YouTube and it's all about love, you're like, nah, I want to see about finance.
Every single one. What's your partner saying? What's your person saying for you? Every time. And how is it that every reading is Gemini? You're gonna find the one for you this week. Like
this, yep,
it's been 2
always.
years. Your reading sucks.
Yes, it's always. But about, man, when they're always telling you that. They're always telling you the same thing every week. This is that you're gonna find out this, and this is gonna be the thing, the one for you. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then the next month, they're like, this is the time when this is gonna happen. That's the thing.
Yeah. It's
That's
funny
the
because
one.
they keep getting the same amount of views, like massive views for the same message over and over and over again.
Always. And the thing is what they're smart because they know to say what people want to hear. People don't, because listen, when you click on a tarot reader and they start telling you fucked up shit, you click off. You don't watch. You move to the one you're like, no, see, oh, I like that one. That says you're about to be recognized for something. You click that quick as fuck. You like what that says. You want to hear that good news.
You see the bad tarot reading and you're like, I don't accept any of the negative energy coming.
I don't accept none of that shit.
I don't accept any of the negative energy coming from this page. I rebuke you in the name of Christ.
Jesus. Yeah, that is that's why I was like, because I was into tarot a lot, and there's certain tarot readers that are fantastic. And those are the ones that implement the astrology. And that's why I was saying when we talked like 2 years ago about why astrology was different than tarot, because tarot is a shuffle of the cards. You can reshuffle. You can say, I don't like that. I'm gonna reshuffle it. I don't like that. You can't reshuffle the planets. They are what they are. So when you implement the planets and the astrology into the card reading, it goes so much deeper. That's why I love those Vedic cards. It's a different read altogether.
Yes. I've been lately, and gosh, I just want to give away everything. But lately, I've been trying my best to organize all of my knowledge into as few categories as possible. And I've noticed that everything that I would put under the category of planetary magic is actually divination.
Mm-hmm.
How there's really like 4 branches of magic, with the 5th being enlightenment, but the 4 main branches would be evocation, invocation, divination, and enchantment. Now, the enchantment would be my spider work, my NLP stuff. The divination would be planetary magic, because that's the reading of Prakriti. That's the reading of her development, her evolution. You can see it from beginning to end by looking at the stars and the planets' movements. And of course, evocation is Goetia and stuff like that. And then invocation is a lot of the confident stuff that I talk about, bringing in a specific type of energy and connecting to it. But if you master those 4 things, that makes an easy gateway. Did I say 4? Divination, evocation. Oh yeah. And not to mention the understanding of the astral planes. But anyways, I found that astrology and tarot are pretty much an understanding of divination, how to understand time, and its relation to space.
Yeah, they're directly linked in every way. And to be a very good tarot reader, you want to be a very good astrologer, because it gives us something more. Excuse me, my dog. It gives a deeper insight, a better read.
More dimensions to look at it through. that's the thing. Like you said, you can reshuffle them tarot cards if you're feeling some kind of way, but you can't reshuffle the planetary. You can't reshuffle the full moon. You can't
Nope.
reshuffle Mercury and Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Mercury's in lactate or whatever Krysten said.
Oh, or when Venus is bust, as you say it.
Venus is bust.
It's busting respectfully.
Busted.
I'm gonna kill that dog. God dang it.
All right, so we should probably be tying the shoelace at this point.
Bringing this to a culmination. Ooh.
Yeah. Is there any I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Maybe an idea what people can look forward to next time?
Well, since we started on and the Feng Shui perspective of it, I'm going to bring some links, some visuals, and to help you figure out how to put the Bagua to your house specifically. So if you guys really want to really understand that, if you guys can, I don't know how many people have an access to the blueprint of their house, or if they can draw it, like a bird's eye view of your house, if it was flat,
yeah,
something like that for me.
That'd be good.
Yeah, bring that, get that together, and then I will put that in some visuals to show you how to implement that. So then how you can start connecting your Bagua with your chart, with your, whether it's the 10th house for the fame, or I think a really good challenge is for us to, right now, all of us try to work on our 10th house and to activate it and see what happens to each of us.
Yes.
And see, what comes up, what comes of it. And then, let us know in the comments what's been happening. And it's 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks to test it out and see what's happening.
So there we go. So we got homework for 2 weeks. You got homework. This is your homework. If you don't know, I'm doing my TikTok finger point because the little motions help everything to keep attention for that little goldfish attention span. That's why I do this. But yeah, this is your homework for the next 2 weeks. Get your 10th house, break it down, and expand it as much as you can on the internet. See what it does for you. See what your 10th house sign, see what expressing yourself through your 10th house sign does for you. Do this experiment, put it to work, and then bring your results next time so we can see how this goes. I'm going to be doing this. Krysten's going to be doing this.
Yes, absolutely.
You guys are doing it. Like the video. But yeah, that's your homework.
Yeah, and if you like, that's why I was bringing the Feng Shui to you, because you can even amp up that 10th house even more with what I told you in that square.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait, what? So hold on. That was the north?
Yep. Well, the north, but you can also get the south, right? Because it's career, work, and success.
Yeah.
But the north is that reputation and fame. It's a lot of the 10th house. So, and yep. Try to activate, try to connect. It's that like I said, that Leo type energy, which is naturally rules the 10th house. So
yo, man, what other channel gives you stuff to take home and use? What other channel gives you actual homework that you can use instead of just saying big words that sound magical? But the fortitude, of the magnitude, of the plasticitude, my brother, of the philosophy. No. Mm-hmm. Check out this chart. If you did it, look at the north and look at the south. Use that in your physical environment to help bring out your 10th house. Like, yes. Now you have an actual ritual. Like, are y'all getting this?
Yep.
This is not just us talking magic words. We're giving you stuff that you can do and use yourself to cause change in your reality. Try it out. Don't take my word for it, Krysten's word for it. Try it yourself. Look at this thing. See what you wrote down to the north, which is your house of reputation, fame. Do you like the way you shine? Think Leo here. And also
Yep.
south of your home, right? Get your compass out and look at what's going on in the south quadrant. Look at all the stuff you got there. The quote here is, have you fulfilled your dreams yet? Right? Pay attention to those things. Arrange them in your house. I'm going to do it in my room and the house. And I'm going to take heed of what happens the next 2 weeks. This is magic. This is ritual. This is how you do it.
Yes, it all connects. It all connects. And if you want the astrology to work in your life and be successful, if you're home, if you're not implementing the feng shui, I'm gonna be real. If you're not, you're missing a big part of it. You're only doing half the work. That's why I'm bringing in the feng shui to it, because it's also an aspect of it. If your environment is not reflecting that of what you're intending, you're standing in your own way. So you want to implement both. It's still a part of the astrology. It's just another aspect to it.
One more thing. Godflow 93 says the what Bagua. So just another, just real quick, what does Bagua mean again?
Okay, the Bagua is your house's basically astrology chart. It is the feng shui chart that lays over the house of the 9 directions that have different meanings, just like the houses in the astrology chart. These are the houses of your house's Bagua or astrology chart, if you will, but it's for your house. And each corner has a meaning and representation and an element and colors, and they can be activated and remedied and influenced by working with that corner and what elements and colors and energies and all of that go there. So there, and then we'll also get into what the flying stars are. That's a whole nother thing.
Oh, I remember those.
Yeah, the flying stars, because there are certain stars that are good and bad, and they change and they fly to the different corners every year. And certain corners of the chart are afflicted that year. And that's the year you need to remedy it with things. That's what we will talk about next time. But we're getting the basics down, which will be implemented with the astrology. It's connected. That's why I'm bringing this to the floor, because it really connects. It will up your game big time.
This is great. This is great. This is great. If you take this in little pieces, right, bi-weekly, if you take this in little pieces and implement, look at how fast time flies. In 6 months' time, how much more knowledgeable are you going to be in Vedic astrology, in Feng Shui? Like, if you implement this homework, how is your life going to change in 6 months, right? And think about this now. In 6 months' time, if you're able to make little tweaks and adjustments to how you express yourself through what's in your personal chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say behave like a Virgo. I said Krysten said check out your 10th house and expand on that. So imagine in 6 months' time, you're getting these little tips and tricks. I mean, it's better than a cram session because the change is gradual and thorough, and you get to test this stuff out to the point that you can see what the changes are doing, and you can come back and check it out. Like, I don't know, man. Now I see why I was excited before we began, because this is like a new thing. I'm liking this. Cool beans. And what's all the stuff about wearing a cape, guys? I miss the cape stuff.
God. I am Malachi. The natal chart is the birth chart, and it's used in both tropical Western and Vedic sidereal. Natal just means birth chart. Of course. Welcome. Also, I think it's the first time I'm meeting you. Glad to have you here. Do something. I would like to something with divination and planetary magic. Oh, yes, we could definitely do that. In fact, I have a very good book that we can connect to with that. Where is it? I gotta find it though. It's so old, but it's all about planetary magic and high magic. And what's interesting is I read it and didn't understand most of it when I was younger, but now there's so much in it that I know now. And I remember it. I'm like, oh, that's what that is now because of this. So it'll be something good.
Yeah, that's
not muggles anymore.
Going through mystical Kabbalah again this morning, like I had to sit down. Like it's now the words are making even more sense. Like
Wow.
just compared to what I've learned from the Vedic stuff and from the Bihar school of yoga, like Tifereth and the higher self and Sattva.
Yep.
Booty. Yeah, Booty.
Booty. Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm ready. I'm just grateful to be a recipient of this divine wisdom.
Same. What's interesting is you were coming into the Vedic information as I came in with the Vedic astrology.
Yeah, like it literally lined up. Like you just
yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, hey, I'm Krysten. How you do? Like it just all right.
Yeah, it just happened. It wasn't like a try. It just happened. It just organically happened.
There was no dipping a toe into the water. No, let's just try to figure this out. It was like, all right, this is supposed to be this way. Let's keep it moving.
Yep. Yeah.
It's like there's a car driving, and instead of like parking to pick the other person up, you just kind of jumped in the car.
Jumped in like Dukes of Hazzard.
Right. Yeah. Excited to see where this goes.
Same.
See, this is the problem I always have when it's time to close.
Yes, Zoom them are. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Oh shit, my bad. I didn't finish. Yeah. Zoom. I am Malachi says hashtag noob. Please forgive. Don't worry, man. I specifically am wording everything I do towards noobs. I mean, obviously I'm not a noob, but I promote to noobs because I know how to take a noob from not being a noob anymore to someone who's confident and working with this stuff. So you're in the absolute right place. Don't apologize for being who you are, ever.
Literally catch the bus. I think this was a good warm-up of understanding of how this is going to be. It's the first one is always so like raw. When people go back and look at their first YouTube videos or their first podcast, it's a learning experience. So, but I think we're going to do pretty good here. We listen to our audience and what they want and serve it to them. Of course, Django.
Yes. So good. So good. Okay, so check this out. Just letting everybody know. Come back here tomorrow night. I'm going to be, well, not here, Amar. And Amar's going to be interviewing me on his channel, I guess. Amar, where's it going to be at? Stay tuned.
Nice. I love that we're all doing this. We all culminate in the group, and then we all have our own legs to do our own thing and connect with each other still in our own little piece of,
Indeed. In the building of the virtual world, you don't exist unless there's content produced with your stamp on it. So the more content produced on a daily basis, the more you cement your existence in the coming world.
And that has a lot to do with that 10th house.
Okay, so so much stuff.
I can tell you're
Process of-
excited to get started with that.
We got these different levels of existence, from like the mineral rock plane to the plant plane to the animal to the person to the ascendant thing, angel thing, to the higher up realms. And existence is kind of like that spiral. I talked about how I might be reading about Kabbalah and then like Vedic stuff and then the Goetia, and then I go back to Kabbalah, and it's like that spiral, but it goes a little bit higher each and every time. That's the pattern of reality, right? The same way that my hair spirals like that, I live and die as a rock, and I have dreams of being a plant, and I keep becoming reincarnated as a rock until eventually I come back as a plant, and I have dreams of being an animal, right? And I keep reincarnating until I'm an animal, and then an animal, as an animal, I keep having dreams of being a human, seeing all these humans and having dreams until I reincarnate as a human, and I behave like an animal because I just got finished being an animal. So you can't really blame these people; they're animals. But they keep having dreams of being something greater, and they keep evolving until they become something greater, to the point where it's like, okay, now I'm a human and I'm dreaming of being something even greater. My next lifetime, I'm not going to be a human. I'm going to be something else. But in order to be that next thing, you've got to establish the platform.
It's 9 o'clock.
Thanks, Maxine. Thanks, Mackenzie. You have to establish that platform to use as an anchor, right? Just like my consciousness uses this body as an anchor, the next thing that I'm going to be has to use what I'm establishing now as an anchor, right? This is more than just data on the internet. This is an anchor for the next level of existence. All right, guys, tune in next time. This has been a great show. I love it. I love you guys. Any last words, Krysten?
No last words except for I appreciate the time we spent together. And don't forget your homework. Try to figure out, even if you can do a drawing of your house yourself, it doesn't have to be anything special, just something you can understand, and be prepared with an open mind next week or 2 weeks from here. And we will see you on the flip.
On the flip, on the flip, on the flip, on the flip, on the flip. Don't forget your homework. Peace, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you guys.
Have a
Tree
good one.
Marie, Justin Simmons, Stray Panther, MC Maestro, Sunshine Chick, Amar Ahmad, Chief Amy Lee, Shango, Stay Wild, Moonchild.
Malachi.
I am Malachi. Welcome.
Godflow.
Godflow,
Everybody.
who loves orange soda? Your name is probably Kale in real life. Brandy Sherpa. Witchy Crafter, whoever that is. I don't
know who that chick is. Dang.
Stray Panther. All right, y'all.
Peace.
Peace. There's my outro. This is TK Trav, aka Travis Mages, here with LVX 777. I love you guys. Peace.